that one probably cut off though. 'Cause I don't got that much juice. Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that back. You good? Yeah, I already did it. I have to. No, I had to go to Howell this morning. But can I call you back when I get up from live? It's in the syllabus. It's in your GCU syllabus. I'm getting ready to go live though. Yeah, it got to be in APA format. Just don't send it in. Don't turn it. Don't send it into the turn in system yet. Wait for me to check it. If I can make sure it's not plagiarized over 10%, then we'll turn it in. I'll turn it in for you. No, you good. I just started. You good. 1 second, everybody. Yeah, you good. It have to be in APA format. That's why the professor sent it back. You got to put it in APA format. That's the graduate style. But I'll show you. Yeah, you got. Yep. It can't be no more than 10% plagiarism. I'm gonna show you how to do it though. All right, hold on. Peace, 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 peace. All the Moors and true light seekers. Yep, I got you. Oh damn, hold on. I'm sorry, hold on. I didn't even see it. My bad. Hold on. My fault, y'all. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Peace, 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 peace. Want to start off by saying love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, and my 2 cents, health and wealth. Just to let everybody know, if you're on my Facebook page, it's going to die because I didn't charge it. So please log on to my YouTube channel. My name, Kari Ibn Hakeem Goodman Bey, or jump right on TikTok as well because we own both. So I just got to give a couple of my people on my GCU site a couple of seconds to log in, and we're going to jump right into it. How everybody doing today? Y'all like that demonstration yesterday? That wisdom? Peace, 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 peace. Got a couple more minutes. We're going to tap in. I just got to let my GCU family tap in, all the students. We had a beautiful biblical demonstration yesterday. Beautiful. Yep. If you missed yesterday's demonstration, I don't know if it's still live on TikTok, but you can go to my YouTube channel. It's my name, Kari Ibn Hakeem Goodman Bey, and check it out. You know, I've been doing this for years. I've been a divine minister for my adult life. I've been through all the sciences. And on my YouTube channel, my name, Kari Ibn Hakeem Goodman Bey, you can see the plethora of lectures and speakers that I've done, a lot of things that I've done, all through walks of life as a truth teller. Even, I think I have my whole, when I got my dual master's degree from GCU, I think I got that on there. I got on there when back in Arizona, I take, through my organization, I take almost, well, I can take 200 kids, but I don't have that many youth that I deal with there. But I can take up to 200 kids to every Phoenix Suns game, every, what's the Cardinals game through my organization. I do a lot. I'm back in my city of Flint. I just stuffed 100 backpacks, gave them away. You know. So yeah, please subscribe to my personal YouTube channel. It's my name, Kareem Ibn Hakeem Goodman Bey. Also, our Temple and School YouTube channel at Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. That's our YouTube channel where every Saturday and Sunday we have a DAP class in Sunday school. But I share it on here. But I'm trying to get everybody to subscribe to my channels, if you will, please. My personal YouTube channel is my name, Kareem, Ibna, Hakeem Goodman Bey. That's my personal YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Everyone that's on here, please subscribe to my personal YouTube channel. And please subscribe to our Temple and School YouTube channel at the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. But yesterday we had a beautiful demonstration when I always remove the veil of religious dogma and that color spectrum and that time spectrum when people use words in the wrong context. You know, when I was illuminating the phrase or the individual or the word Laban, even though it means white literally, has nothing to do with ethnicity per se, because I can say literally, watch this. I always got to summarize what we did yesterday. I can say literally, this is white. Literally, right? Right. That's not meaning that's a white person per se. Or when we say the whiteness of his righteousness per se, because when you research who Laban is, Laban and all his genealogy and who his mother and father is, who his brothers is, and then Jacob married Laban's 2 daughters. Jacob had 2 wives. So when you use Laban in the context of the wrong way, are you saying Jacob married the WHIT man's daughters? No, you totally off. You always have to be biblically correct and only use Bible to illuminate what you're saying, if that's the discussion. Not well how I feel or how I think, because we're not doing semantics. We cut all that loose, because that's not what I'm into. That's not what I promulgate. You can believe in whatever you want. I never have that biblical how can I say discourse with anyone, because I know most people are not coming from origin and scholarship. You under a belief system. So anybody that believe in a specific man-made religion is going to gravitate to that. But when you're dealing with wisdom and when you a Sufi, when you a Tasawwuf, when you a scholar, when you're anointed and consecrated, when you in the form of Buddha, in that context, especially academia and wisdom, I don't gravitate to no lower wisdom. And I tell everyone, you can do what you please, but you can't put that on me and my brothers and my nobles and my muftis. That's not going to happen. You know, that's not going to happen. We're going to stand firm. We're going to stand strong. We're going to let people know who we are in the righteous way, because we have the right. Everything else to me is uncivilized. I don't have to be arguing. I don't have to be making no statement, because I tell people that's lower science. If you understand and you know who you are, you have no problem in the world, because we sure don't. The Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple of School don't have a problem with nothing. I know I sure don't. Any of the stuff people be saying, oh, this happened, not me. I travel everywhere on my own dime. I don't get nothing. I get questions, which I love. I get questions, which I love. But it's nothing about the science that we promulgate should bring harm to anyone. Not one thing, y'all. And if people think that, then I just say it's a sad day when you stuck on things that's meaningless. When you stuck on things that's meaningless, because the divine comes first. I can teach you everything else, but if the mental is not in the way of righteousness, everything that you touch is going to be what? In the wrong manifestation. Why? Because the heart is not right. I mean, this ain't my judgment. This is individual judgment. This is when I'm talking about subconsciousness. When you're doing something, you already know if it's this or that. Off the dribble. You don't need no intercessor per se. Why? If you operate on a level that I'm talking about. So, like we were saying yesterday in class, as I was breaking down that Laban and how can that be the other man? And if you say it's the other man, then Jacob married the other man's two daughters. And then the other man's family that he broke down, they the other man. You see how asinine these things say? And then I gave you reference. Things that make you say, don't it? I'm just giving a summary when people use the biblical text, just like the other man did to do what? To step on someone's neck. And I told you, it can always be used for that. The same way the other man did it, look how that man doing it. And the whole context on both of them is totally wrong. These is keys. Because I tell you, my brothers and sisters, if you have a tittle of understanding, if you remove the veil of religious dogma, if you want to operate in your higher self, where you don't have to join no this or no that, no lower science, because I told y'all this is 99 degrees. This is free Morris right. This is comedic science. I'm giving comedic science, all the African sciences. I'm giving all of that wisdom. Nothing, I guarantee you, there's nothing outside here that you can get that's going to illuminate what you already know and add value to. Think about what I'm saying. When we talk about, do you really know biblical things? Because for me, and just for me, I had the pleasure to challenge academia from the so-called Christian side and the so-called Islamic side. We're professors with 3 chairs over, and I'm their teacher. They call me Melchizedek, or you Iman, you just a Sufi. I'm like, okay. So when we talk about things and try to use the biblical text to say, this is your book, or this is just you, or you better than this, think about this for a tittle before we get to this understanding of magnetism, the Vril, or the Vital Magnetism. We're going to break this down because I'm always dealing with what's within. Everything I'm talking about is science, knowledge, order, rhythm, astrology, astronomy, nature. Maserat. That's the astrology in the Bible. That's the constellations in your Bible. So think about this for a tittle. When individuals try to say, we are just this, and I say, it's one nationality, many cultures. It's one nationality, many cultures. That's what you must understand. So as I get to this biblical, I won't even say it's a discourse. I'll just say it's a biblical question. And I hope we answer properly, because yesterday we had a glorious time. And everybody was like, dang, you done opened a Pandora box. I said, yeah, because it gets deeper. I tell everybody, religious dogma gets deep, deep, deep if you a scholar. Why? Because you have the tools in the toolbox to say, I ain't this and that. And I say, what about this? What about this? What about this? And then I give you the answer too. I show you what to look for. So you can't be upset what I'm saying. I'm showing you with the eye. And I already said in the beginning, you can believe what you want to believe. Right under the word believe is a word called belie, believing in things you can't prove. I don't have no problem with that. Rock on. So, once again, in the scriptures, we already know who the Canaanites are. We already know who the father of certain people are in that specific area. Is that area in Europe? Or is that area in the continent of Africa, somewhere, Morocco, whatever you want to call it, North, South, East, West Africa, whatever you want to call it, Akibalan. If you say yes, okay. If you say yes, now here it is. Because now here got a drum roll. Who was these individuals pertaining to their God that said they can come over here and wipe out these people? Who were they? Were they the other man, or was they the brother man was that brother on brother? Tell me. Because I deal with scholarship. And then I say, because Hebrew is the act of parting the water. With all due respect, when we get to origin, when we get to linguistics, when I say I understand, but in the biblical scripture, you have a plethora of people. The Amorites, the Amalekites. I just told you who the one, Laban. Do you know who the tribe of Laban was? So if I give you the tribe of Laban, and I say, how can an individual say that we are just this? And I just said, who was the tribe of Laban in the biblical scriptures? It was a group of people. And I show y'all how we remove the veil of religious dogma, how? On both sides. We have to. We have to do that work. Why? Because it's necessary. The work is necessary. Everybody know the work is necessary. To know, I gave you the research yesterday. Arameans. It was a group of people. Laban, he was that tribe, the Arameans. Islam, brother Bay. I gave y'all the book yesterday. I showed this every day. I showed research. I showed scholarship. Laban, I showed them that was a person. Look who his family was. Look who his mother and them was. And Jacob married his 2 daughters. You can't tell me I'm not telling. You can't tell me not that. So if Jacob married Laban's daughter, well, did Jacob marry the Witeman's daughters? I'm asking my brothers and sisters. I'm asking a question. All I'm doing is asking questions. I'm not saying nothing wrong. I'm asking questions. Because if you answer wrong, then we got a problem. You see? This ain't hard research. This simple. I ain't doing nothing complex. I tell my brothers, this is a schoolmaster. I'm gonna break the Islamically down. I'm not biased on the wisdom. I'm gonna do the same thing. With all love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Why? Because I've done it in academia. And I told people over and over, you can't do that. I'm gonna synchronize the Quran. You just off how? Linguistically. It won't take nothing but a second. I already done it on YouTube. That's why if you've been rocking with me for a minute, you already know the biasness, the veil should have been gone, but it's not. And people rocking with that veil. Why? For the lack of knowledge. For the lack of knowledge. See, these is facts. These is facts. And then when you get these brothers and sisters that want to use religion as a sword in the wrong manifestation, and you using that word in the wrong context, you out of context. If you using it in a derogatory perspective, and you say, well, this or you this, you that, you talk about yourself and the connection to Abraham and all that. You talking about yourself. And I don't care if you say Abraham or Quranically Abraham. We're not playing semantics. Not gonna do it today. It's not gonna happen. Not with me. It's not going to happen. You see? So when people come with these things, all I got to say, for educational purposes only. For educational purpose only. Brother Bay, hit it across, Brother Bay. My brother, my moderator, for education purposes only. Indeed. So when these brothers come with the, how can I say it, lower wisdom pertaining to being saved by color, because it's not contingent on that, how can you use that word in that context and it's totally off? Because you don't understand linguistics. When you say it mean white, I say, yeah, it mean white. Literally, I know, it do. I ain't disagreeing with you. Did you understand what I'm saying? No, I'm not saying the word WHIT pertaining to ethnicity. That comes from Bloomberg, and that's Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda, with all due respect. I already done lecture that in academia. So all of it can be flushed down the toilet when a person trying to explain it. I said, dude, you still, I understand. You can say that to a person that's not academically astute. With the aptitude, you can say that to when it sound good, but not to no one that's just what they do. They enter the sciences is no. Can't do that. No matter how no one feel. So, like I said, all my people that's on my Facebook page is getting ready to die. You got to come on my YouTube channel. It's my name, Kari, I'm Hakeem Goodman Bay, or come on my TikTok because it's going to die on you. You're going to miss it. But this is what I always ask my brothers and my sisters. You have to understand, no matter what it is that you're dealing with, it's always a higher level of wisdom. Do we diss anything? Absolutely not. Do we add value to? It's just like tools in a toolbox. Just because you learn multiplication, you're going to get rid of what? Math 1 plus, you're going to get rid of addition? I would hope not. You're still going to need addition if you ain't on the multiplying yet. These are tools in a toolbox. And so when I speak, I always use analogies of martial arts because I'm an old karate kung fu man. I watch every kung fu movie. I probably know them all by heart. That's what I do. And I studied Wing Chun for years. But it's a certain discipline. And when you meet a certain individual, no matter what they call themselves, a grandmaster or a Buddha or whatever vernacular, a shaman, etc., on a higher level, they know a plethora of styles. They're not limited to just being orthodox in the context of one religion. Like when I tell everybody, I'm not orthodox, I'm Sufi. I identify with my Moorish culture. I'm Tasawwuf. I don't gravitate to one science where I miss the essence of any rest. I don't care what nobody else do. I'm under the triple rose. I understand and operate to where from no biasness, I understand the paraclete, the Fatimite, and the Jerusalem, and the Christian, if that's what you want to call it. I understand all the sephirots, the esoteric, the exoteric, linguistics. I have all commentaries. I have all the books, to interpret certain words and things. Why? Because that's what I do. I have a full library, physical and internet, that I share with the world for small donations. I hide nothing. So when people come with these things, the only reason why they'll be mad at their brother, why? Because the lack of wisdom, because you comparing instead of being allies. That's the only thing. Because why? How can we be comparison? And when you look in the mirror, you should see me the same way as you. As what? The God, generator, operator, destroyer. And if I'm coming with something, then I'm adding value too. What's wrong with us? I ain't coming with no gimmick. I ain't coming with no gimmick. I ain't coming with, and I ain't coming. I've been doing this for years. I ain't came and sold nobody no dream. I've been telling y'all what's going to happen for years, and it keep happening. Why? Because our people just don't get it. They don't understand clean glass. Think about what I'm saying, y'all. All this religious is like colors. And I just broke some down, very simple. For you can ask the question like, yeah, who were these group of people that went over here in Canaan land and did this to these individuals and wiped them out and made them? Who were those people? Because it's a group of brothers promulgating that, like, their God said that they can do this. What? Take your brothers out? I don't know. You tell me. Pertaining to your God, per se. I'm just saying. We just, as a philosopher, as a theosophist, because if someone is jealous, if I say I'm a jealous God, I ain't jealous of myself. Do the Bible speak to other gods? Absolutely. I hope you study the scriptures, which most people just pick what they want. But I say study and understand and interpret, not believe. And when you deal with the analogy, the parable, and symbology, when you deal with the linguistics, when you able to deal with the parables as they are, you don't get into no, because it's coming from something. And if it's coming from something, and that's coming from something, and then if you say that's fake, then it's all fake. Because in the biblical scripture, that's in Koine Greek per se, it's for the common man. Just like when I say English has come from Anglo-Saxon. With all due respect. Research what I'm saying. So when we say these certain things and that and the other, do you know, was this the language of what was spoken and interpretation and misinterpretation and mistransliteration? Because it happens so much trying to translate or transliterate English from a language with no vowels. With all due respect. to my brothers and sisters that use the scriptures for separation. And I say, dude, and I can sit everybody down and everybody can get a paddle. Like elementary, I keep telling people, man, this is a schoolmaster. This is what, if you say you're a scholar, an educator, this is what you're supposed to do. What? Teach the truth. No matter if it fill a room or clear it out. If you say this is what it is, I'm going to say, based on what? Your misinterpretation? You're going to have to agree with that. When you say, well, white, it mean white, literally, I'll say, okay. But who you talking about? Who was Laban in the biblical scriptures? Now you toast. So are you saying not only him and all that lineage and Jacob's wives, are they the other man's daughter? See, you got to answer that. You got to answer it. And you can't be wrong when you answer. Who was those people that went in Canaan land and did what they did to the Canaanites? Who was those individuals? Was it the other man? You see how people, when they try to use things and they try to put things on people that's not really astute to biblical scriptures, man, I get all in the Jewish encyclopedia. Even when people talk about Edom, I say, okay, but I can show you how a lot of things is out of context. How can certain individuals be twin brothers? Only way my mom and my dad can have something that may have red hair if they produce an albino. Like, people be losing it. And then I'll show you really what you think some curse wasn't that. The curse was losing your land. I done told y'all already. I said, I showed you biblically, you being mistaught for years, for centuries, for eons. Nobody that's biblical academia, none of my European professors and scholars and Jewish professors would sit up here and disagree. They'd be laughing. Why? Because I graduated from Grand Canyon University with what I'm talking about. I graduated from a Christian university with a dual master's degree and what I'm talking about. That's why. And I'm talking just like this. That's what I be telling my people. I bring this back to the people. And I thought my people was going to accept me. Boy, was I wrong. I'm just keeping it 100. Boy, was I wrong. It's like, man, they said, I'm going to go to Europe and I ain't going to never come back. With all due respect. But this is the thing that I'm saying. This is not foreign. No way I would be able to graduate from Grand Canyon University talking like this and being able to prove what I'm saying, because in academia, you have to prove what you're saying from your point, if you're going to make that point, from scholarship. And I always did. I've always did. I've always did. I have a full library with over 1 million. I did the same thing that Google did. Google, dang near, they spent millions to convert millions of books to ebooks. Did they take chapters out some books? Yes. How do I know? Because I have a book called, it's Bertrand Thomas. It's called The Arab. And I know in that book, it's a page took out, the genetics that's in some of the original prints that's not in the ebooks. But I got the original book and I converted it to an ebook, which I do a lot of my books. This is what I'm telling y'all. I'm telling everybody, man. It's like, why should we be arguing or disagreeing with things? And I say, I ain't arguing with no one, but you can't say the biblical scripture said a person would have the text in your hand and in a hand. And I say, well, go to the text. Go to the text that you promulgate, that you have in your hand when you're using this biblical text as a separation theory. Go to the text and prove to me that Laban is the other man. You will be destroyed. Because you have to know linguistics. When a person say it mean white, literally, we know. My shoe, if I got on some all white Air Forces, they can be white, literally. If I got on some all white Air Force Ones, they can be white, literally. Now I'm gonna play semantics. If we a whole bunch of brothers that's dark, and we got a cousin that's light, bright, we might say, look at our WHITE cousin. But, and I'm just giving that just for pun. But we have to always stay in proper context when people are using biblical scriptures to say, this is what it means. Au contraire, mon frère. It can't mean that. A person with a tittle of understanding can research that and be like, well, how are you getting that? And this brother just broke down linguistics like you got to be done with. That is simple. That's not even complex. It's not even complex. So the question that I ask my brothers and sisters is this, as I get into my main topic, because I want us to remove the veil on all religious dogma. If a group of people, no, and this is for my brothers that promulgate a certain banner, you know what banner I'm talking about. If you promulgate a certain religious banner and you say, the story is that these group of individuals went to a certain area, Canaan land, where it's already occupied by who? The Canaanites. And there was that whole family there, right? Yeah. And your God commissioned you to go there and wipe everything out, of to do all this. And then you say, that's why we serve certain Hebrew Israelites. And I say Hebrew is, if we dealing with origin and words and linguistics, that's just the act that was promulgated. I understand Hebrew language. I get all that. I get that. I understand. But I'm saying biblical context. Biblical context. We have to stay biblically in what we're dealing with, if we're going to say that. So who were those group of people that went over in this area that was occupied by the Canaanites? Who were those people? That's all I ask. And if you say what I think you're going to say, then I say, oh, so our nature is what? Banging. I showed y'all, if y'all follow me on TikTok, y'all saw the books I told y'all about the so-called Crips and the so-called Bloods and the Black Peace Stone. And I told y'all in plenty lectures, all the signs and symbols belong to us. I already told y'all dealing with G7 right here in the flesh. I keep telling people everything is in reverse, but my brother still ain't listening. My brother still ain't listening. It take brothers to get locked up, and then your mamas and stuff be calling me, hi, she, and I'll be like, I've been telling people. I already show people this growth and development and the proper manifestation, no matter what banner you hold up, the pentagram or the 6-point star. I already told you. My people should be listening. My people should be listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth. All my people, all my family should be standing up, rising right now. We playing. And it be people that have been following me for years. Just like the brother said yesterday, Sheik, I've been following you for 5 years. You the realest, this, that, and the other that's been doing this, man. Woo, 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 woo. With all love and respect. I'm not saying nothing wrong. I'm saying if that's the case, what's up with that? I mean, the stuff be crazy. What, I got to be on my knuckles scamming people to get the support of my people? Every time I see somebody, I say, I know what you're going through. Why? Because I'm a shaman. I'm a medicine man. I'm a tasawwuf. Everybody that knows, that's what I am for my family. I keep telling people, I said, dude, I'm not under what you think this is. I've been a divine minister all my life. Research me on YouTube. I tell everybody, or Google me. Google me. Google Minister Khari Goodman. See what you get. And see what you get. This is what I be telling them, my brothers and sisters. I be like, come on, man. I be like, come on, man. We're going to keep going in circles and circles and circles and circles and circles and circles and play this game continuously. And I'm a cover. I never leave nobody in no burning house. If you've been following me forever or even been following me for years, you will be like, yep, that brother ain't never sent nobody in no burning house. Only reason why people don't like what I say, because the truth will make you free. That's why. And when it comes to scholarship and academia, you dealing with it. And I'm transparent. I tell people, you're dealing with 99 degrees. I'm part of the Philosophical Research Society. It's only a few people that I know that's going to come and reveal the level of understanding to you, just like this on a platter. And if you go into academia, business, religious, spirituality, I can be your ally. These is facts. Why? Because I done helped so many college students graduate. This is what I know. I get donations to do what I do to my organization. I'm a mentor. I'm a behavioral health therapist. People know that. People see me on the news out in Arizona. I share everything on YouTube and Facebook. I mean, what we dealing with? I mean, real stuff. Y'all don't see me out here on no crazy stuff like you see on social media. So when I break things down and when I speak things, I'm passionate because I'm like, wait a minute. I know my people can't be this naive. What? Because if we say we into this and if we say we study, I ask my people, where do you study? That's all I ask. If you say you study, where do you study? Where? With who? If you say you a scholar, where do you get your scholarship from? All that other stuff is meaningless to me. And you can be homeschooled. Yes, you can, because I'm homeschooled as well. But academia was for me. Why? Because that's something in my family that we do. And that's something that I wanted to do. I wanted to get a bachelor's degree in business. I wanted to get a dual master's degree in first century history and religion and linguistics. I wanted to get my PhD in or my doctorate in indigenous people law and policy. Those are the things that I wanted to do. Those are my endeavors. I got all of them except the last one. I'm close. I'm almost with the dot. I'm close. From scholarship, from academia, not nobody just giving it. And accolades mean nothing. Because without that, I don't need it. And this what I try to tell my brothers and sisters. I say, okay, if we're gonna deal with scholarship, if we're gonna deal with academia, we should have been had a panel. We should have been had a panel of what? Discourse or understanding, not from argument, the same way people tune in to other things, the same way people got rich off bullcrap, the same way people should be reaching out, the same way people say they've been following me for years is the same way. That's how. The same way. I ain't going nowhere. I promise you that. Why? Because the real don't have to go nowhere. I don't have to reinvent myself. And I don't have no fake name on social media. My name is my real name. I don't have no fictitious name. My number go across. I'm a real person, individual. That's why I'm telling people the real need the same support as the fake. The real need the same support as the fake. That's all I'm saying. And get the real a chance. Get a real a chance. So, brothers and sisters, ask yourself those two biblical questions and see where you get. But when I talk about, I just want to introduce two little things because these were two pieces of wisdom. And I'm not even going, I'm going to stop saying the books and stuff that I'm quoting from and my papers that I've done before because I'll be offering these to people. And every time y'all hear me speak, I always offer the literature for a small donation to build your library. Everything I have, I converted it to ebooks. But I'm being honest. Since we said I'm always going to be honest and transparent, I have my GCU log. Peace, bro. I have my GCU log up with the students, and they really be the main supporters that get everything. And a lot of them don't be mad I'm saying this. A lot of them don't look like us. we be talking stuff because they understand me. You know, I'm just keeping it real. And so when people be saying, man, the stuff you be talking about is heavy. No, it ain't. I ain't even went heavy yet. This stuff is the schoolmaster. All their libraries have Gnostic libraries in the basement. Mostly all the universities in Europe have Gnostic libraries in the basement. Where you think all the Baphomets, Kabbalistically speaking, where you think Manly P. Hall Library is? At the Philosophical Research Society, which I'm part of. I keep telling people, they discuss this. I lecture this stuff in real life and I travel. Most of the times I don't show it because they be like, man, it ain't nobody business you show it. They don't do you like we do you. And I say, I understand. A lot of stuff I don't even talk about on here. I got way more. I'm gonna show you all a book in the Library of Congress where it show you that the Moors is the Turks are the Moors. from the deposit from the I think I'll find it. I think I shared. I got it saved, if I'm not mistaken. If not, I have to find it later. But I have to find it to prove a point. But if anybody be wanting this research to build your library, I have this wisdom. You don't have to go nowhere else for ebooks. And if any books that's expensive, you have to get it printed and bind it, unless you just want the ebook that bad. And I still give it to you for a small donation. Why? Because I want you to have it. It's just like when I asked for a suggested donation for things. When I had to tell a lady when I was doing some work, and I was lecturing, and I have some books. And a lot of our people, they just don't understand. And sometimes when a person is really a giver and love people, a lot of us been hurt and did wrong sometimes. Sometimes we don't believe it's real. And I understand that. And I'm dealing with that as well as with the other dilemma of that. But as I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with, I had a lot of expensive books. I had a lot of books that cost $1,000, and I was asking for us, and I printed a lot of them, and I was asking for a suggested donation of only $40. And I had the book showing them that this how much they were on Amazon, and Amazon and had an ebook, so you couldn't get the ebook. And if you could, whatever, I hope you want to support what I'm doing. But make a long story short, a couple of the empresses was whispering, and I love to read lips. That's one of the skills I have as well. I used to want to be a private eye in my younger years, and in ministry, I always read lips. But anyway, I'm reading their lips. And a couple ladies like, man, they're like, we want the book. They calling here, and I can hear her arguing with somebody, and she was like, baby, I don't got $40. We ain't have $40. She like, I only got like 20. And he like, did the brother? And I can hear he said, what did the brother say? He said a suggested donation. He said, babe, he said suggested. He said suggested. He got on the phone. He said, peace, brother. He said, they don't hear you. And this is his wife. I said, what? He said, didn't you just ask for suggest? I said, yes. He said, so it don't have to be that. I said, absolutely not. I'll give it to you for $5 if that's all you got. He said, man, that's why I love you. And this is just a husband that's into it. He couldn't be there. He was upset. So, he couldn't be there. She had him on the phone, blah, blah, blah. And he like, get the book. Woo, woo, woo. He was like, cash, I mean, this, and that, and the other. I'm like, no, he ain't got to do that. And I can hear her argue, talking to her girl. She's like, I only got $20 cash. And he was like, well, tell him that. She was like, well, tell him that. And she did. She was like, huh? He like, not only gave me that, he gave me this and that and the other. I gave her a lot of extra ebooks and things, but that's what I do. When I'm in that manifestation, I share the wisdom. A teacher teach when I'm doing lectures at the colleges. Everything that I have, I print a lot of books and things and I have, or I offer ebooks when I lecture at GCU with the students. I told y'all, and they all get the books. I'll be letting them get the books. If they're not expensive, for like $5, I'm giving them bundles. I'll give them like 20 books for like $20, $25, $30. And they get to give me a tax and receipt because it's a donation to my ministry. It's a donation. And I ask for a suggested donation. I'm telling you. And I build people libraries. And so that's why I tell my brothers and sisters, it's only one wisdom, it's only one science. And if your kid was going to academia or taking business classes, you would want me to be their tutor. You would want me to be your tutor. I get paid to do this. And all I be asking my people is for donations. Part of my ministry. I say, man, let's give donation to my ministry. I can stop a lot of people from doing things they heard. Why? Because you just heard. I'm going to give you peer-reviewed scholarly research. I'm going to give you precedent in law cases, doc number, Free Information Act. I'm going to break down Chicago Law Review, quid pro quo. I'm going to break down everything that you're going to be like, damn, how you know this? Because that's what I do. I operate in everyone's best interest. If you get an attorney or a lawyer, that's on you. But you'll be able to say, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? Hey, my brother, or you say you got this president-in-law case in your chambers, XYZ happened. You don't have to know that. The person that's representing you don't have to reveal that to you. I'm telling you what I know, man. I'm telling you what I know. So I'm just saying, I'm being honest. When I went to academia, when I got my dual master's degree, because when I got my bachelor's degree, I was just going to get my dual master's degree and deal with, to be honest, I was going to deal with Wall Street. That's where I was going. I already had moved to Arizona. I was already dealing with, investing out, because I got a business degree. So I know how to do things smart. I know how to research things instead of just being stupid. You know, I educate myself on things, and I never put something in anything that I ain't okay with walking away from. So if I invest anything, if I lose it per se, it ain't no sweat off my back. Why? Because a lot of things, I tell everybody I live a monk life. So if I live a monk life, that means a lot of things that I can invest in, a lot of people can't do. Why? Because they don't live a monk life. And when I say a monk life, I'm not saying I don't enjoy the finer things, because I do. But I'm conscious of everything. I count every penny. So if I want to do something, I'm doing it. And nothing gonna stop me. Why? Because I can do it. That's why. That's how insane I am. That's how insane I try to have everybody. When I talk about that auto suggestion or that God consciousness, that understanding, that aspect. Once you get to that level, oh, we talking about that peace. We talking about that nirvana. I'm trying to get my brothers and sisters there from no biasness, and I'm showing them. I've been showing this stuff for years. I not only got my degree in business to be politically correct, and I help people set up their business if it's for profit or non for profit. I actually help people do that. You know, show you how to get your articles organization, show you what quick 30 accounts are. You know, show you what Duns and Bradstreet and how to set yourself up as a business separate from your personal, and have your business standing on its own 2 feet, you know, and then you able to do things under your business identity, or you would be DBAing per se, the right way. And then if you want to operate in a community, you want to operate in a community the right way. You just don't want to be talking about things, and you want to help other community. And then the community say, okay, well, are you set up the right way so we can give you XYZ monetary and tangible donations, and we can at least get record. So when Uncle Sam say this and this, we have this. Or if we donate to you, we can offset our taxes per se. And this what I try to educate to my people is more than what we think. And it's all with charitable giving. I'm telling you, man, in the right manifestation. So when I talk about the Vril, because I'm only going to talk about this for a couple minutes and I'm out. It's another name for life energy of the body, known in other cultures. Remember, I told y'all words have synonyms as mana, prana, chi, or the vital force per se. Most of the ancient cultures of the world, we all were aware, and they were aware of this important force and work to make use of it. Dang, is my tea stuck? But in today's world, in like the West per se, we move along through this world completely oblivious to this truly vital force. Although this force cannot be seen, it is the life force within our bodies. It takes energy from food and provides muscles with energy, which in turn allows us to move about in daily life, as well as grow and metabolize. Nourishment, digestion, and elimination are all driven by the life force. So that life force, that Vril, I'm gonna show you all this ancient piece of jewelry I have, and I think my brother's for getting it for me. And you will see Elon Musk have one on his desk, and I'm showing you everything comes from something. When people be saying it's evil, I said, dude, you have to be able to remove the veil of dogma, because everything is kabbalistically, and all scary or all animal figures are nothing but pious hieroglyphs. I promise you this. Just like when I talk about the Baphomet, it's nothing scary. It's just written kabbalistically. Temp, Hope, Ab, Abbas, the temple of David, or God and man. That nothing scary. I promise you this. When I show you the signs, the symbols, the cold volta, when I show you the kundalini rising and the chalice, nothing scary. It's just for those that understand the elite things can be put in a manifestation that the uninitiated will have no understanding of what it is. Just like in the Egyptian, in the adapt science, you will see a lot of the Egyptian figures with different animal heads per se and human bodies per se. You see what I'm saying? But the Vril is spelled Vril if you want to look at research it. Also has a connection to the mind. Remember, in the biblical scriptures, it's always tell you to seek wisdom. And in the biblical scripture, Sophia is wisdom and is related to the female counterpart. When you see Sophia in the biblical scripture, you remember the Bible is always written in analogy, parable, and symbology. Everything that you may think is explaining something outside, literally, is actually explaining something internal, esoterically. But you have to have a map and a guide, with all due respect. With all due respect. But and methods can be employed to store up its energy and use it constructively. The virile is not manufactured in the human body, but can be collected and used, effectively. This energy is present in water and especially in air. This is why breathing is so important to the practice of meditation. A deeper part of us comes alive while we meditate due to the increased vital energy in the body, combined with the relaxation, of the mind. And when we break these things down, excuse me, and when I break these things down, I just give people a schoolmaster. I just give people a schoolmaster. Why? Because I'm a teacher. If I'm a teacher, I build you up to be a teacher. I want you to have it. Why? For you can teach your kids and your kids. For why? For we can be greater than what we are. This is what it's about. Like this is our culture. We were conditioned. This is our culture. Just like when I tell all my empresses, I said, listen, man, I'm a tarot. I'm a shaman. I'm a medicine man. I deal with the tarot cards. When I say a lot of things, I always speak in the spirit. For me, I don't promote those things because I'm a seer. Those things have to come to me. You know, those are gifts. Remember, and people are supposed to respect gifts and not disrespect the person that has that gift. If you're looking for that, and when people know where gifts come from, and what I'm telling people is when you're really dealing with that, you have to be specific when you're dealing with your spirit. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say to all my people. Because ain't nothing wrong with what you do. Because you got to be careful who you choose to read as well. I'll give the analogy of an attorney. Watch this. You attorney, and you defending all the killers and the gangsters. And you have to be strategic with what you're doing. You have to be strategic who you pick. Why? Because when you're picking up these spirits, when you washing per se, and when you spirit cooking per se, okay, what about you? When is your rest? It's like if you're in the military and you come home with all that anger and you don't know how to digress and you got all that on you. You got to cleanse. So all these things you must know going in. If not, man, you just got a whole bunch on you. You know how to, it's just almost like when I tell people, okay, you got the sage, but then you need something else to do something else with. It's two. Sage do one thing, but then another piece of cedar do another thing. I'm trying to tell you if we being technical, because technicalities always right. I ain't saying people ain't doing right, but to add value to, I can always add value to. And that's all I am. A tool in a toolbox, a sharp one. Not saying you're not one, you know? I give exact methods and then I give manuscripts. It's for you. This is what I tell people. A map and a guide is going to give it to you. And what you do with it, that's on you. If I'm giving you light, and the first thing, I hope you don't want to abuse it, so you should see light. There's nothing wrong with acquiring light. There's nothing wrong with adding value to. These are the mystery schools. If anybody's in the tool with their spirit, all you're going to do is be like, yeah, I'm giving the mystery schools. When people came in the temple and tabernacle, I ain't saying nobody have to give nothing, but they did give honors with all. And I'm not saying what nobody should do, but If things is done in the proper manifestation, honors is given to where honors is due. And so when people be talking about, oh, I read this self-help book, or I read this Rich Dad, I don't need none of that. I be giving people the tools. All that self-help stuff is for the birds. You can read Rich Dad, Poor Dad and still be poor dad. When people be reading stuff, I said, this is the stuff I be saying, this is the real self-help. This is the mystical overview. And in this dilemma, and this wisdom is packed with so much information. In a few, just like when I take things and gather and compile and make compilations for brother and sisters can read them. All the books that I gathered, compiled, and divinely prepared, I made them under 50 pages for a reason. And out of this piece of wisdom, you ain't never seen nothing like this. I promise you. Because I know nobody have it. I know nobody ain't never touched it before. I know this for a fact. I tell everybody, I'm never going to be a gatekeeper. I'm part of the Philosophical Research Society. I have things that I know brothers ain't never heard of. Why? Because before I got introduced to this stuff, I ain't never heard of it. And a lot of professors that I know ain't never heard of it. And a lot of stuff I can say, well, I hear you and give you reference. That's like I ain't even went to show you how America was created. The pure documents blow your mind. And if you do a Google search, if I give you something to ask, it'll tell you. Because AI will tell you, it'll blow your mind. The Vril or Vital Magnetism. I'm just going to give one lesson, maybe two. In the arcane teachings, the term Vril indicates the universal principle of vital energy, life force, or vital magnetism, as it is sometimes called. And this term itself is believed to have had its origin in the language of ancient Atlantis. Now, I'm going to stop right there. It's a book that a lot of my European Masons have. It's called Atlantis of the Latter Days. And the other man called himself El Eros. So, and when you research it, well, most people probably don't have it because it's $500. I have them. I converted them all to ebooks and I print them and bind them. It's all it is the Osiris mysteries. I guarantee you. That's all that stuff is the Osiris mysteries. I guarantee you. Anybody talk about some secret? Nope. Only people took an oath to not tell the truth. The other man, they're Osiris mysteries. And they sons of Muslims. And they'll tell you. Well, they probably wouldn't tell you, but I'm telling you. As a matter of fact, I'm telling you. The tradition holding that the Atlantean root, VRI, meaning life, or the Vril, is the source of the word. So Vril or Vril, the later expressing the idea of the vital principle of life energy. And this original root term is believed to have influenced similar elementary terms in the Sanskrit. And through this, the great source of tongues, Latin, from which our language is largely derived. But we know Anglo-Saxon came with that English. Research it. In many languages, we find words indicating mainly vigor, energy, virility, which undoubtedly owed their origin to the original Atlantean root, that term, the VRI, the Viri, from which our term is derived. In ancient Greek, you find the term Viros, V-E-R-O-S, meaning a hero. In the Sanskrit, we can cover and we can discover the Vira, the V-I-R-A, meaning a hero. And in the ancient Irish, V-E-A-R, Vir, meaning a man. The Gothic, Ware, W-A-I-R, and the Anglo-Saxon WER, each meaning amen, as well as the Latin word vir, meaning amen, from which our terms viral, virility, where it came from or where it originated per se, also appear to have been derived from the Atlantean term VRI or viri or life. And it was very natural to identify the concept of man with what? Life. In our own language, right? The term virile or viral and virility indicates what? Life force or vital energy, particularly in the sense of what? Procreative power, aka the usage of these terms bearing out the statement or the theory of the origin, right? Just like when we deal with our occult traditions and terms, we use the term VRIL, and you can cross-reference it in different novels. When you have the eye to see, you cross-reference certain things in novels. It's like in Shakespeare and all these things, he used more in Negro, and used in England and things, you see MOHR, and you start cross-referencing things and be like, okay, well, this is this. And you see brunette and swarty. And when you start understanding things, you can put a new face to things, you know? But in these writers, they said this was a so-called mysterious form of energy employed by a newly discovered and highly advanced race of people, upon whose doings history was abused. Now, we're talking about the ones that they say giants per se. We're talking about a history. And I don't want to go out of context. I just want to stay specific, because all writers, they say it, they're speaking code, because most of them were Masons. I'm telling you. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, how could they be how can one person be the father of this and teach somebody this, and that wasn't their craft? All you got to do is read Stolen Legacy by George G.M. James. All Greek history is nothing but stolen or watered down Egyptian history. These are facts. You can't be mad at me. And a lot of these writers, they borrowed the term from the ancient occult writings, which a lot of already have familiarity with. I told y'all, most of my professors, everyone, most of them are Scottish Rite Masons, or a lot of them be part of the Philosophical Research Society. I'm part of the Philosophical Research Society, and I have contact with the Royal Archives and a lot of the doctoral libraries. You know, the Library of Congress, a lot of Gnostic libraries that I deal with, a lot of. Once I start showing you, even it was a whole bunch of our brothers that was melanated, and I'm gonna start showing y'all back in the day, like Dr. Turner. Not only he was a minister in the churches, he was a mystic, a sage, an author, all that. But people don't know. You know, that's why I said the stuff I talk about. Everyone that you think is elite know what I'm saying, and I ain't even went with high wisdom yet. And in many of these ancient occult treatises, you find frequent reference to the virile. I told everybody, a lot of the other men use this stuff for power. Other people use it to beg. And I said, that ain't it. This is not it. You don't even know what the extraterrestrial really mean. I almost coughed because I was getting ready to say something, and it almost look. And I got some cayenne pepper in that Blue Lotus tea, and that cayenne pepper just hit me. But I had a funny as well. I had a funny. You know, my funny is a lot of people be quoting Zachariah Stinson, talk about some Anunnaki or some alien, and I already showed y'all my professor like that's just the Iberian. I showed y'all yesterday figures and things. I already broke this down so long ago, so easy. When I say we lost, but he borrowed this term from ancient occult writings, and the ancient arcane term, the virile. This is the arcane term, was known. Why? Because if you have the information, in many of the ancient occult treatises, you find frequent reference to the virile. Not only in this sense of the principle of vital energy, brothers and sisters, also in the sense of inherent usable energy, which we seek to express by the term human magnetism. In such of these occults and writings, you can find the term employed to explain many of the phenomena of occultism. It's just like when you hear people and they say they some sheiks or they some adapt, and they say, and they don't understand how you can put the circle in the square. And I say, dude, I knew you flunked out of elementary school because I'm talking about, what do you mean you can put the circle in the square, sheik? Sir, ma'am, don't say that loud. Because around elementary kid that I help, they'll laugh. I said, you don't say a circle and a square, both are 360 degrees, just different parameter. Sir, ma'am, you don't know that? Sir, ma'am, you don't know that a circle and a square is both 360 degrees, just different parameter? You don't know that. So in elementary, when you think the compass and square belong to somebody else, and I already told you about signs and symbols of the primordial man. In elementary, though that tool that you see was on your pencil, and the other is a ruler. Circle and a square both have 360 degrees, but different parameter. Even the so-called you think it's the swastika, it ain't the swastika. That's from Africa. That's the energy good end coming out. I can show you that. You put a circle around it. Same thing. 90-90 circle, line down the middle. 90-90-90-90. Square. I can put a line down there, line down the middle. I can go 90-90-90-90. Or I can keep the square, a little square here, a little square here, a little square here, a little square there. 90-90-90-90. They both are 360 degrees. That's different parameter. Now, tell me it's not. Tell me it's not. You can't. Like all this stuff is elementary. So when somebody say, oh, you like putting a circle and square. Okay, so what you think the hex alpha is? The hex alpha, I hope that hex alpha, if you call yourself a scholar and this, not, and the other, and adapt, the hex alpha is the graduation cap. Duh. Come on, man. The existence of this wonderful principle of energy. In Persian mysticism, the term galama is used in the same sense. In the Hindu occultism, we find the word prana serving as a similar purpose. Mesmer seems to have stumbled upon this truth when he taught the existence of the universal fluid. That's another scholar. You know, when I tell y'all all this is more science, same stuff that C. Freeman L. spoke about. Same thing when I break the charts down. Although he was far from the truth in his deductions therefrom. We're talking about that scholar that understood that theory. But in review of interest in the occult science in the Western lands, so noticeable in the past generations, and which continues to present to present time, you can find frequent references to human magnetism, animal magnetism, vital magnetism. And in the schools of magnetic healing, I hope we know what magnetic healing is, which attracted so much attention about 10 years ago. We heard much of the magnetic fluid, the existence of the principle of nature, which we call Vril, and in the arcane teachings has been recognized by many schools of thought throughout human history. And many names has been given to this particular craft, and many theories have been advanced to account for its existence and to explain its purpose and effects, you know? But I don't want to go through like the history of all that and all that. I just want to give a little highlight and push you to research a little further. I like to go to the head of things and present the original arcane teachings regarding the principle of the Vril. See, I don't play that. Why? Because I told y'all, I already been in those houses. I already been there. That's why I said nobody's going to come with no teachings to oh, they religion is bad. Nope, nope. None of that. None of that. You should want to know what's going on. Nobody can say this is better than that. And they just playing a linguistic game on you. And it's not operating higher self. It's operating lower self. And people have the right to do that. But you have the right to know you don't have to do that. You know? But in the arcane teachings, then the term Vril is used in several senses, general and particular. In the first place, the Vril is held to be a great cosmic principle of very fine energy, right? Permeating all forms of matter and immanent in thought processes, as well, being employed by the principle of mind in its works of thinking. But the Vril is not identical with your mind. Watch this. The mind is held to be a prior manifestation of the infinite. And from the mental principle arose the Vril and the grosser forms of energy, and then the forms of matter, fine and gross. And in this original sense, the Vril is perceived to be a great universal principle from which proceeds a multitudinous manifestation of these activities. And the Vril is this phase of existence, cannot be defined any more than any universal principle can be defined. What? Love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Those are universal principles. We have no words with which to define or explain it. Why? Because all those are attributes of love. And what? Love is an action word. And it's only when we descend to the consideration of its manifestations that we are able to explain or define it in our finite terms. And in the second sense of this term, the Vril is the principle of the inner vital power or energy. I like to call it the Eso. I like to call it the Gnostic. I like to call it, for my brothers and sisters, of the way. It's found to be immanent in all forms of specialized matter. What you mean, specialized matter? Inorganic or organic? It is the recognition of the universal immanence that has led science to advance the new theories that life is present. Where? In all forms of matter. What did I just say? I said life is present in all forms of matter. Even in the crudest and grossest states that you may call it, phases and forms of matter. Scholars of the old boldly assert that atoms of matter possess something akin to life and manifest the capability of perceiving something like sensation and the ability to respond thereto. Some of the scholars of old that use these tools for power, the two fundamental forms of substance, ponderable matter and ether, are not dead and only move about by extrinsic force, but they are endowed with sensation and will. My, my, my. My, my, my. My, my, my. And through naturally of the lowest grade, they experience an inclination of consideration, a dislike for strain. They strive after the one and struggle against the other. That's just like when I say it's only two spirits. What? The Holy Spirit and the satanic spirit per se, the higher or the lower per se. And you don't need no intercessor. Why? Because we're talking about consciousness. Let me give you the biblical scripture. When I was a child, I act like a child. I thought like a child. But when I became a man, aka conscious, I put away what? All unconscious ways. Come on, man. In the church, can I get an amen? If we was in a mega church, y'all be put some money at the floor. I'll be like, oh, look at all this money. I mean, shoot, I don't even get no pennies. You can't tell me I ain't working hard. I mean, I don't even get two red cents on here from nobody. And you go to church with your whole family and put on that Steve Harvey suit with the tags all on it and looking crazy in the mug. And everybody march up there and at least get $10, $15 a piece. Talk to me. Ah, come on now, somebody. If we was in the church, they'd be like, stop, okay, we got offered or something. The man working hard. I don't even get a penny. I don't even get a donation. I don't get a slug. Shoot, show your brother some love. Hell, show the brother some love. Show me you love me. I promise you I'll show you some love right back. But I'm crazy. But also, you can find that the different relations of the various elements toward each other, which chemistry calls affinity. So in chemistry, we call this affinity, affinity. I showed you, I'm gonna show y'all all things. I'm gonna show y'all words have synonyms. When you in school, most of our people didn't like school. People went to academia and paid for all this. I'm telling you, I can give you a crash course and be like, boom, boom, boom. I know it's worth value. I know it's worth $5, $10. And then I'm gonna give you so much. And I'm just saying it like that, but real talk. But it's one of the most important properties of ponderable, what we call that type of matter. Is manifest in the different relative quantities or proportions of ponderable matter. I'm talking Brother Bay language. I know I'm talking Brother Bay language. It is manifest in the different relative quantities or proportions of their combination and the intensity of their consummation. You see? And every shade of inclination from complete indifference to fierce passion is exemplified in the chemical action of the various elements toward each other. Just as we find it is in psychology of man, and especially in the life of the sexes. Remember? A lot of ancient writers, if y'all ever heard of the classical writer named Goethe, Goethe, well, in one of his classical romances, affinities, compared the relation of a pair of lovers with the phenomena of the same name in the formation of chemical combinations and the irresistible passion that draws Edward to the sympathetic Othello or Paris to Helen and leaps over all bounds of reason and morality. It's the same unconscious attractive force which impels the living spermatozoon to force an interest into the ovum in the fertilization of the egg of the animal or the plant. The same impetuous movement which unites two atoms of hydrogen to one atom of oxygen for the formation of a molecule of water. I hope you understand what I just said, because I'm talking more science. This should be sweet music. And this fundamental unity of affinity in the whole of nature, from the simplest chemical process to the most complicated love story, was recognized, brothers and sisters, by all, even the Greeks. Also in the 5th century, it was a writer, his name was Empedocles. He had a theory of the love and hate of the elements. It received a miracle affirmation from the interesting progress of cellular psychology, the great significance of which we have learned to appreciate in the last eons of time. Brothers and sisters, on those phenomena, we base our conviction that even the atom is not without a rudimentary form of sensation and will, or as is better expressed, a feeling, right? Inclination, a universal soul, or the simplest character. Come on, man, we're talking about more science. The same must be said of the molecules, which are composed of two or more atoms. Come on, brother. Ooh, Brother Bay, you own them. Brother Bay, they don't even hear you. They don't even hear you. Just like when I say the pendulum swings the same way to the left as it does to the right. You don't cut a part of yourself off for righteousness. What? Balance. We truth and falsehood strangely mix. We make strangely and wonderfully. I hope you understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth. We're great and this. So we are these two things, what? Strangely mixed. Understand what I'm saying? Oh, the perfect penta coming together. When I talk about the seven serpents, when I deal with the Gautama Buddha, come on, y'all got to understand my language and what you're dealing with. Adapt wisdom. And the same must be said. The same must be said of the molecules, which are composed of two or more atoms. Combinations of different kinds of these molecules give rise to the simple, subsequently complex chemical compounds, in the activity of which the same phenomena are repeated in a more complicated form. We got to remember, science now admits, nay, positively affirms that the principle of life is immanent in and manifests through all forms of material things, inorganic as well as organic. We are not now concerned with the idea of the presence of mind in all of the forms, except in as much as mind is always an accompaniment of life, meaning it's always with that. And life is generally defined as the quality of what? Sensation. Everything that I speak of, I say vibration. If vibration, sensation, vibration, sensation, hand in hand, you can't have one without the other. This is a unity. Ice, water, cold, you say Trinity, ain't no Trinity, it's a unity. You can't find Trinity nowhere in the biblical text. With all due respect, you've been told wrong. And these three are one. Different manifestation, different archetypes, but these three are one. And it will manifest in forms of matter. But a closer definition is now being advanced by scientists. And the latest conception is that life consists in the power of independent action and movement. That is, in the ability to act and move from inner and inherent power, and not from power or force applied from without. Y'all catching your brother? My brother said you working hard. He can't. I'm working hard, y'all. Give me something, man. We within the church. I'm talking like the preachers. I used to do that all the time when I used to be behind the pulpit. I used to have people crying, laughing. When I say crying, laughing, y'all, if y'all see someone on YouTube, if they still on there, man, y'all will be crying, laughing. You'll be like, man, he crazy. I used to be in there. I'd be saying, oh, I said, that's what y'all want. And I show stuff. I say, remember how they were doing run across the money? I said, throw me some nickels if I'm teaching you. Because if you go into something and you say it ain't right and you put on your best gear, you put on your best shoes and you come home and say, man, there wasn't nothing going on. And you can sit in the comforts of your home and get this, man, I'll throw 2 nickels at least. I know I would. I'm talking about myself. I'm just talking about me. But the latest conception is that life consists in the power of independent action and movement. That is, in the ability to act and move from inner and inherent power, and not from power or force applied from without. It is the very power to act and move which the arcane teachers and maps and guides, that's what we hold to be the second phase of the existence of the Vril. Right? A body may possess sensation and will, ability to feel, and ability to exercise volition. Man, what'd he say? Man, I gotta read everything they saying on the GCU forum. He said, brother, the same way you said eloquently that a workman is due his hire and a person that read tarot cards should always be compensated. He's like, here it is. You reading tarot and people not catching you doing this in your ministry and you not asking for a slug. He was like, and he was like, if what you, he said, what you need to have your, talk about, man, what you say, what you need to have a damn box out or something. Yeah, all my handle was on all my social media, man. But gratitude, I got to finish because I'm almost done. But a body may possess sensation and will, ability to feel, and ability to exercise volition, and yet not able to act and move, right? Feeling and will are mental states or qualities, right? But the power which acts and moves is something different from the mind. Because your mind can want to do something, right? Say your mind can do it, but then it can't do it. For it is what we call that life force, that life energy, that virile. Remember, words have synonyms, right? A man may feel the sting of an insect and may then will to brush aside the insect, but unless by the exercise of that will, usually, but sometimes by reflex activity, he or she sends a current of what? Vital force, life energy, nervous energy, that virile, in short, in those muscles. And those muscles will not contract, nor will that person hand move. What I'm trying to say, y'all, without that virile, you cannot even perform the processes of thought and come to a decision regarding the brushing away of the insect. Did you hear what your brother just said? The virile is the force which operates the machinery of life from the crudest movement up to the highest exercise of the brain cells of the philosopher or the mathematician. Now watch this when we talk about the chakras per se. And I'm going to use the analogy of, okay, you can do everything to your car. You can fix it all up. You can put it all this. I take your battery out. What? I take your battery out. I take your battery out. I take your battery out. So what I'm saying, when you understand anything what I'm saying, is something that control all of them, those chakras, to give it what? To life force to do exactly what it needs to do. How? It needs it. All these things operates off what? What I'm explaining. This form of life force. You take the life force out, it's nothing. It's like the scarecrow. Understand what I'm saying in the context. I can make it so simple that a child can understand. You have to understand your brother. You have to understand what I'm saying. I'm your brother. I'm a divine minister. I can give it to you on all level plans, and I can bring it back to you with positivity and understand it to show you what it's all about. You got to get off your knees. All that's over. I come in righteousness. Stand up and arise. You ain't researched the kum, the ba, and the ya. You've been told it don't mean no come by here and do what? The kum, the ba, and the ya. Stand up and arise, my brothers and sisters. It's time, and your brother is here. Melchizedek coming to bring a divine message and a brotherhood to our brothers and sisters. Because the brotherhood is like sweet oil going down to the beards and to your shirt. That's what this is about. No one can deny what I'm saying. Nobody in their right mind that have a tittle of sense and understanding can go against what I'm saying, unless they got a motive and they can easily be illuminated from the other man. But the virile then is the second phase of manifestation or existence. Is the inner power of action and movement of all material forms of the universe. So if you want to say biblically what? The Holy Spirit. You take that away, you take that vital force, that make man right, it's nothing. It's by action of the virile that the visions or that the ions, the electrons, the corpuscles or the particles of elementary matter are attracted and repelled, and by which they engage in the wild world around each other, which resembles the movement of the planets around the sun. You should know this, which attraction and repulsion and consequent, that world per se, combine to form what we know as the atom of matter. It's just like when I twirl water and when I twirl things. And the person say, why is she always twirling stuff? Well, you don't know. And I just told you, when I show you, I already told y'all it's a book about water and about crystals. And I can show you how life and everything is in the crystals and in the water. But when I do the water like this, and I'm activating something is going into activation. You might not know it. I already done told you, water is electric. Water is used for electricity. It's a lot of things that could be done with water in this source when you understand certain life force. I'm giving life force, but my people not listening. Water and sun is life force. So I'm talking about simple matter. Likewise, it is the virile which causes these atoms to be attracted and repelled and to manifest constant what? Vibration, thereby forming the combinations which give to us our what? 80 elements of matter. You can't deny what your brother's saying. And it's by this virile that the molecules formed of the two or more atoms, manifest their varying degrees of cohesion and other molecular quantities, properties, and attributes, and thus give us what? The distinctive, qualities of matter in all of its various forms. You can't deny that. You can't deny that. Just like it's right, Empress, we all come from our mother's waters. Just like when I talk about the mommy waters. When I talk about that, what the Vatican Church hid, you know, it's there. It's all there. All the God consciousness was that. When you research it, I always get. I don't come from no bull crap. I tell people exactly what it is because it is. The Vatican Church hid this about the mommy waters. I'm just. I know people. We know what they saying. I got the book, the wisdom for you, everything, and they identify today Moorish history. Even when I talk about the god Artemis, which they recognize, and when you see how things was whitewashed, and the god Artemis, it come from that culture as well. The mommy waters. Real talk. I'm telling you why I have to do this because I'm into all my African culture. I have to. I'm in the Orishas, the Santerias, you know, the crosswords, the Oligua, all that. I'm in all the tarets, all of it. I deal with all of it, all of it. What tarets? All of the tarets, and I could burn them all up and regurgitate them. Why? Because all the tarot ain't nothing but biblical and old history stuff that just put in pictures. That's why. With all due respect and love, I tell people, I say, man, come on, man. Everybody that know me like, well, Sheik is a reader. Like, what tarot? I don't care what tarot you got. What? It don't matter what tarot. It don't matter. I can get rid of the tarot and write everything on a piece of paper and do the same thing. I'm just saying. The Vril then is the fine energy of force, which enables material things to move off their own power, the power within them. And the Vril is in itself this power within, which enables the participant or the student or the atom of matter to move. How? Here and there, which enables the atom to form the combinations, which causes the molecules to manifest their qualities, which enables man to blend or to bend, per se, or move his arm, right? And direct his pen. At what? At will. Urged thereto by what? Your feeling or your desire. And supervised by what? The intellectual reasoning. See, the Vril is at the heart of the great mystery of science, gravitation. The force which operates or initiates a space without the measure of time, right? Remember, I told you time, it never was a time when man was not. And in spite of obstacles and interferences, gravitation, which contradicts all the minor laws of physics, is seen really to be the Vril, the life energy, and the vital force in the second phase of manifestation. You got to understand this Vril in the second phase of manifestation provides all space. It is immanent in the universal ether. Wherever anything is, the Vril is in the second phase of manifestation. You know, and that's a small nature of the Vril. That's just a small tittle, because there's so much more. It's so much more. It's so much more that I can give. It's so much more. And everything that I give is science and wisdom. I don't come from no biased perspective. It can't be none. And that's why when people be coming on here, that's a different you. And I know that they are Scottish Rite Masons. And I said, man, you a son of a Muslim. And you know your charter, you will respect and obey all true Muslims like myself. So why you got a problem with what I'm saying? And you know exactly what I represent. With love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You know this because at least you got the sense to know that you're a son of a Muslim and not a widow's son. At least you know that. And so when I talk about this science, I showed y'all, I show you, everybody know, all my European colleagues know what I'm teaching. They know. When people be like, oh, this, no, the other man know. They wrote of the prophet. I teach science. All this stuff is old wisdom that a lot of people don't know. I told y'all, who y'all think taught most of these people back in the day, like Neville Goddard and Edgar Cayce? Who? The Ethiopian rabbi, Abdullah. Research what I'm telling y'all. I got all the books. I teach this. And then the turbans were wore in the misnomer black churches, and it signified the mystical East in the book, The Chosen Ones. I show this all through history. And then this adapt science, this Gnostic science, get us over the hump to remove the veil of religious dogma. This is our culture. I'm a linguistics. The etymology to culture is what? Caught, this. Just like when people say, well, ish, this, and that. No, you try to use the negative connotation, but the ish, we're going to use it in the positive connotations, how we believe in this, and that, and the other, and what we operate on, and how we love each other. That's being more ish, or whatever ish per se, in that positive connotation, or in that positive explanation of what we're using. You have to understand context. And this is where I'm trying to get my brothers and sisters too, back to something. We can operate with love, and people can be hitting me up, and people will give, like I said, accordingly, if they had it on their heart, you know, and I can give you research and things because that's what I do. That's what I do. You know, just like, so when I'm talking about the Vril, these are tools in the toolbox. When somebody say, well, Noble Drew Ali didn't speak on that. We ain't talking about Noble Drew Ali. We talk about Sheikh Kareem Goodman Bey. That's what we talk about right here. That's coming to bring you more and that than what some may even thought of. Why? Because a lot of people put caps on things. It ain't no cap. It's on you. It's on you. And that's why I said that if they have universities and libraries and people pay thousands and thousands a year to be part of these things, and I'm bringing these back to the people and I don't charge, at least some of my people I will hope on here will be okay with giving donations. I would think. I'm just asking. And when you give donations, I have a database of names. I can be giving people stuff and having raffles and things. You know what I mean? Because I have a whole web page where I have turbans and fezzes and kufis and all that regalia and shirts in our culture, all that, all the beats, everything you see me on, I provide. I'll be able to do those things. You know, people be able to get books from me and then tell other people like, man, boom, yeah, we get all our ebooks from this brother. If you want an expensive book, here, print and bind it and ship it to you and blah, blah, blah. That's what I thought it would be. I wouldn't think it would just be me dealing with people that I went to the university with because they take advantage of what I'm doing. And anybody can see me on YouTube. I've been doing this for years, solid. Y'all done seen people come and go, get locked up and all this, promulgate something different. I ain't changed. I'm still right here, still here as a noble man. All through that, doing all when a so-called pandemic, when everybody was getting hustled, and I told everybody, this too shall pass. I told everybody, I ain't been nowhere. People have been following me before the so-called pandemic when I was in my suit store before it shutting everything down. And people was following me and watching me doing business in real time, in real time. So come on, man. And we've added value too. And so that's why I build this for my brothers and sisters as a safe place to say, no, that's not valid. We're not letting nobody gonna come here with their religious dogma and their perspective because they may believe a specific way. We're not doing that, and this is not the place. Because when you come in with religious dogma, it can be easily illuminated. I'm not gonna say destroyed, I'm gonna say illuminated, because we're not gonna use words that hurt anybody, with all due respect. Anything that you're saying, if you promulgate some book and you say you part of this, well, if I illuminate what I'm saying from with the book that you have under your hand, I don't think it's nothing else to say. If I can break down the origin of your whole religion Islamically and say, well, there now, give me what you think. You can't say, well, such and such taught us this. I asked you what you taught, what nobody taught you. I get what people say. I get what people saying. I don't have a problem with what people say. But if it's law, it'll be written. I ain't talking about tradition. What people say is tradition. What I'm telling you from scholarship and from understanding what a lot of people say is just not matter factual. And if we're dealing with the scholarship and the research, you done. And no matter what religion it is, if I come with the origin, we're gonna have to do what we do with them and just, move to the side and operate on who we are and our spirituality. And we are who our foremothers are and our forefathers are, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I don't teach no separation theory. I told y'all what separate us is what? False information. That's what keep us separated. with overconsumption. We had great people. I always talk about it when I talk about like Steve Coakley. Steve Coakley was a brilliant man. He talked about these things. He revealed things, but people get over consumed and oversaturated with things. For myself, I'm who I am and I'm protected and I stand strong and I ain't compromised and I'm an educator and I have my own charter and I'm 99 degrees. So I'm able to travel and lecture. Y'all, when Muhammad Ali was banned from boxing, where y'all think he was lecturing at? You ain't see Muhammad Ali in no misnomer black universities, did you? I hope no. He was at all European universities lecturing with them Europeans per se. And Arabians or troglodytes, whatever you want to call it, with all due respect. Anglo-Saxons, with all due respect and love. And I'm saying for myself, man, when you get on that level, that's who wants you. Yeah. And so when things be talked about, when I be transparent and I say I know people in the boule, when I say I know that to be one you must know one, these type of groups, they don't want nobody that don't have nothing. I'm always transparent. When I was at getting my degrees, the so-called Prince Hall Mason with that's a mystic name, and the Scottish Rite, my professor and them came. But what I had to do is get my own charter. That's what I did because this is what I do. And a God, man, just like anybody back then, that's all they did. Anybody from back then, from Noble Ali, from Far Muhammad or Elijah Muhammad, from Daddy Grace, Father Divine, from the misnomer Black Hitler of Harlem to Malcolm X, to any great man, they had to start their own. You know? And this is what I tell people. I said, dude, I'm telling y'all I know. I'm telling you I know. When I talk about 5%ers, it have nothing to do with color. 85% of the world is dumb and blind. 10% of the world know the truth but won't tell you the truth. I call those gatekeepers that'll do it to keep you subjugated. It's 5% of the world that's what? Poor righteous teachers. I met a lot of them that's not melanated. When I say poor righteous teachers, I'm gonna teach the truth regardless if it fill the room up or clear it out. I'm telling people, I said, dude, I understand where people be coming from. When people be talking that Dr. York stuff, I said, I understand. I understand how people get caught up. I told people how individuals gonna get caught up. I told you, I said, when you take the negative attributes of things, when you switch up coming from a man that represents your hairdresser, you start representing money and you pick up the negative attributes, that's what's happened. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. I told people when I knew things, I said, what did I say? I said, oh, I know this person is part of this and this canniness is gonna get him in trouble. I told y'all individuals wear their fez. You know? You said we have to start our own, but don't feel that we can due to brainwashing. I don't know why we don't think that. I already started. I teach private. This what I tell the people. The things that we say we can't do, I always ask people why, Empress, we can't do it. I ask why. Because everybody's not brainwashed. I'm right here. So when we say why we can't do things, I'm an ally. If I'm teaching the other ones like Angelo Solomon, the first Moorish Mason, and they seek me out, they say, man, well, our kids going to school, and I help people graduate instead of dropping out. When I help them how to write an APA format and help them how to study from peer-reviewed scholarly research, why can we say we can't do it because of brainwashing? And I'm right here removing the veil of all brainwashing, of all Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda. If people follow me on YouTube, they see me lecturing at the university. They see me not debate, but have a conversation with professors and say, well, the Willie Lynch, it ain't even real. Because if it was a Willie Lynch letter, it'd be in the Library of Congress. And that's Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda. And black wasn't used to describe ethnicity in the first century. It was used to describe when the curtain came down, the black curtain. When I explain that, facts. They do believe it. I lectured in academia. I don't know who they say they don't. When we say they, I don't know who people be saying they. Just like Roots. I lectured this in college when I said Roots. Alex Haley plagiarized Roots from a European pseudo-writer named Harold Colander. He wrote the book called African. And then I seen misnomer black people do YouTube videos and Kunta Kinte, our ancestor, and it's all fake. It's all fake. And I lecture this I do this at GCU with a crowd full of students. The problem is our people ain't there. And when you have these so-called black universities, the professors ain't teaching that because they have program or they have a required reading at some fake Willie Lynch. And they make the kids watch some Roots. I'm telling you how. I know this for a fact. of the university. I lectured this at GCU. That's why I tell you, everything I talk about, the college students put donation together. I give everybody a tax exempt a receipt, and I lecture this right here. So when people say, well, did nobody know this? Yes, they do. They study us to a T. That's why all my professors in this thing, they're like, you're not BLACK. You an adapt, you a chic, you a medicine man, this, and that, and the other. Blah, 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 blah. So when I say this is not common to us. I say it all the time. I'm bringing something back to our people. Only thing we got is some man-made religion would separate us, or I'm in a fraternity, or I'm this, or I'm that. So when people say this, I say, man, what are you talking about? I talk about this in a university. I know professors that's Gnostic. I know other people that wrote books about the prophet. It's a book called Spandu Mysteries that's by Peter Moon, aka that's his pen name. Because a lot of other melanated people, they had to write in their pseudonym, in their pen name, or they would be killed if they went against the church. I'm telling you. So I don't know what people be talking about. You have to have a good teacher. Most of these people that went to misnomer BLACK universities, they don't know who J.A. Rogers is. They don't know who Sheikh Anta Diop. They don't know who Ivan Van Sertima is. They don't know who Dr. Francis Cress Wilson is. I ain't saying not all. I'm just saying a lot of them. They don't know who Sheikh Anta Diop is. They don't know who Amos Wilson is. And I'm just naming a small tittle. They don't know. Why they don't know? And all these scholars before, they don't know who John Henry Clark is. They don't know who Dr. Ben is. Why? And these brothers wrote a plethora of books. A plethora. Why? We don't know. And you can go to these universities and we got professors that's so-called melanated. So what you teach it in the halls? This is what I ask people when I say, what schools are the kids going to? The elementaries and all this. They ain't going to the other man university. You going to the public school. We ain't going to the other man church. We going to our churches. So that got to point back to us. I always tell people what we doing. We should be bringing everybody here. We say, well, what school you going to? And then what you got to combat with it? Nothing. What spiritual house you go to? This one. That's our fault. See? And that's what I say. I love these conversations you said because they aren't celebrated during Black history. And that's what I say. What is Black history? So these are the conversations that we have, that I had the pleasure to have in academia. And our professors, they be like, man, our misnumbered people got so far to go. Because these are the conversations that we talk about loud. And I'm not saying the messed up, but the lack of understanding. When you say because they aren't celebrated during Black History Month. And I say, okay, well, what is Black History Month? Because according to science and law, Black, in accordance of law, if we say everything, if reparations and all this is civil ter mortis, Black has no standing in law. So when we talk about Black history, with all due respect, these are things we have to be re-educated on. Just like, what did Carter G. Woodson say? See, these is books that, the other people, my professors, all the other men notice, and what did Carter G. Woodson say? The miseducation of the NEGRO. And who do we blame? Who did Carter G. Woodson saying we blame for the miseducation of the NEGRO? Because it ain't no reason no more why. We all got these letters behind our name. So who did Carter G. Woodson say the miseducation of the Negro was? Let's see if anybody get it right. Let's see, do anybody get it right? And it shouldn't be taught in the public school. That's why it's called public school. We teach this at our what? At our charter schools and our churches, which all we own. This is what I tell people. It's like, it don't supposed to be taught at no public school. It's the public school that's ran by the government. Just like with certain church under the FBI, which is the faith-based initiative. You have to, in order to do this and run like this and get this funds, you have to run these government mandated programs. So yes, we talk about public schools. And why should it be taught in public schools? And public schools teach your kids about some Christopher Columbus. And then, and the school's not telling your kids they can't write to combat that from scholarship. No school, no young man that I know, mother that I tutor, they kids, history and other things, they got in trouble for writing real history. None of them, not one. And they aren't supposed to teach it. It's for us to know, for we to teach everybody else in the world. So we're supposed to know our history. Our churches, our temples supposed to teach it. So when you go to the public schools where everybody at, where it's all different melanations, you teaching them and you teaching the teacher. from scholarship. They can't diss scholarship because when you go to college, it's going to be scholarship. It's going to be accepted. I keep putting it back on us. It ain't, that's why I tell people, this is what I've learned in academia. I say, oh man, we're going to make an excuse. We're going to say this. Nobody's stopping us. Why? Because look at all these people with these letters behind their names. Look at all these people that promulgate, they like reparations. And I say, I'm down with reparations too. But black have no standing in law. Nobody never got no reparations for no black people except the people that created them. These is facts, man. I ask people, what's the Declaration of Human Rights? They have no idea. Article 15. This ain't for nobody else to tell no one. They be throwing it in our face. It was on Jeopardy. What's the law that misnomer black people don't have no rights, that the misnomer white person have to abide by? Ding, ding, ding. The European Albion Charity Light lady said, what, the Dred Scott law? Ding, you're correct. You're correct. So I keep putting it back on us. It ain't nobody's fault. We got all this stuff. We got all these clubs. We got all this. And then people say, it ain't no libraries. Because we don't have none. I got a library. All we need is the people help. We'll make it for everybody. Everybody can deal with the library. When we say, oh, we don't have none of this, we have it. I always got to answer because we're not talking about, you said, but you got to know most just believe. We ain't talking about the most. See, all we need is a remnant. See, all we need is a tittle. To handle the thousands, you must got to handle the tens. To handle the millions, you got to be able to handle the thousands per se. So all we need is teach one to reach one. If we're talking about vibration, we just been talking about the Vril and that life force. We are the life force. And when we use certain words that deteriorate the life force, that means we have no energy. Why? Because we matter. That one individual is a spark. That one individual can spark another individual. This is what I'll be talking about when movements don't go as they should. Why? Because an individual that may have that energy, that have that spark, or throw and I'm not saying you would throw a negative spell on it off the dribble. And what that'll do, subconsciously deteriorate everything that you would do. Instead of being excited like a kid, promoting it, posting it, doing all this and doing all we can to make this happen. Because all we need is a remnant. All we need is a remnant. A remnant is a lot to a billion. We need a remnant. And when we talk about a remnant, we ain't talk about the world. We could talk about a nation in a nation, but we ain't talk about the world. We don't need the world. We need the right ones. When I say my people know my voice. When I say a small gathering of people is a lot, this is what I talk about. This is the energy when I talk about that need to reverse from us. That's the first thing we do. We'll throw so many obstacles at ourselves and don't understand that we are the currency. I tell people we electric. We already got the energy and we'll do so many things to try to deter our electricity. We'll cut the wires and all this. And they like, why are you doing that? All I got to do is just do it. Because your energy can affect the other person. And this what I tell my people. It's like, be the change unit. If you got it to give, give. If you getting something out of it, what we worried about the others for? Just like if it was me and I got some children and they going to school and they coming from a Eurocentric and a Negrocentric perspective, and you want your kid to learn who they are and this, that, and the other, and be proud of who they are, and they get with me and they start writing the history and start doing better. That's on us. That's on us for our kid go to those public schools and those teachers can be impressed with our kids' aptitude and our children understanding. And then they say, well, I know your kid is being homeschooled. Why? Because the intellectual wisdom that they have as a babe is being given from home. That's the aspect of being homeschooled. So when people say Black history, even though it's Black history to certain individuals, our kids can write from scholarship and blow them teachers' mind. This is what I'm talking about. So when we make the excuse, once again, I say it's always going to point back to us. Why? Because there's no excuse. And when people know me and I'm a scholar and I'm an educator, I ain't get in trouble. I ain't get kicked out of university when I talk like this. When I did business papers and analysts and doing my capstone, when I was getting my business degree, I was matter-factual. When I get my dual master's degree in religion and spirituality, I come from no biasness. I understand what people can do. That's on a wavelength. I understand what a small group of people can do. I understand the power of a small people can do on the same mind frame. That's why the biblical scripture said the laws and the prophets, when two or more gather, come on, the power is there. We are limiting our currency, our electricity, or our Vril, that life force. And that's what we do to ourselves. What makes others better than us? What makes other better than us? What makes my man Jeff, the one that got that better than me? And I do the same thing. What makes that better than me? What, the support from his own people? Nobody, nothing, but I do. Because when the cup runs over, that's when we have our infrastructure. They don't do nothing. We get everybody going there and get, I got this from Amazon, all that, but I got everything, I got them as ebooks. You ain't finna ride around with a whole bunch of books in your backpack or fly. You can get all the ebooks from me from pennies. And then those expensive books, I still give them to you as ebooks. But then you can print it and bind it. Brother and sister, that's an NFT. If I print and bind a book for you and the book costs $1,000, and say I print and bind a book for you for the cost, it costs me to print and bind, and say X amount is this, hypothetically speaking, I just throw a number out, 150. And I can give you a taxes and receipt, and the book costs $1,000. So say if your brother or your homeboy or other people in the science with you, you got the book. Not only you got it as a hard copy and you got it as an ebook. You can pass it to them for the price that you pay for, or you can say, hey man, or whatever. Or you can say, hey man, get it from this brother. But if you got the ebook, you can provide the ebook for them if that's what you want to do. It becomes an NFT. And this is what I try to explain to my brothers and sisters. Yes, we can. Just like everybody on here on the podcast, and they say, well, what about this? People can interview and see what I got going. I've been doing a lot. I reside in Arizona. I also reside in Vegas. I got my charter in Vegas. I got a charter in Sacramento and St. Louis. We're getting ready to get another one in Washington where my mufti at. As we continue to build, we travel and do lectures. I come on anybody platform. I come on anybody platform. An NFT is just like almost like them fake paintings when they say, oh, this is a whole value. No, it ain't. If something costs $1,000, like right now, you can go on Amazon and look up a book called Forgotten Cause of the Civil War. This is what I do on the college campus as I close. How long have I been going? Damn, almost 2 hours. Okay, I got to get out of here. Let me show you what I do. This is why I say our people lost. When we say people not doing this, I do it, but our people not astute. Our people not attentive because we'd rather go spend our money on something else. And then we say we into this and we'll make excuses. And everybody, I'm on my other platform. I got 128 college students from GCU and Arizona Christian Academy on my on my college YouTube. And he like, all the books, we get them all. I know they do. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. How much this book costs on Amazon? What it say? What the book say? And I'm not even getting ready to go in there and pull out all my books. I have a book binding machine, and then my muftis have it. I'm not even going to do it again. This book costs $900, $800, almost $1,000. With taxes, going to be damn near a stack. The Forgotten Cause of the Civil War, a new look at the slavery issue. Now, I print and bind a book. A lot of the college students, when I was first started lecturing at GCU, they was like, no, bring your library. And I say, okay. So like a lot of books that's not expensive, say if they cost $20, $40, $50, $60, I give them to them for like $5, $10, But a lot of these expensive books, I print them and bind them. A lot of them just be wanting the ebooks. So say I'm lecturing, I'm in my ministry. I say, okay, the college students, because they college students. They was like, no, we don't want nothing cheap. Because they be wanting this stuff because they make money. They ain't stupid. So I sell it to them, the ebook, for more than what I be offering it to brothers on here. And you can get the ebook from me. You can get the ebook from me for a small donation. And I thought you want the whole book. I read everything. I got all the books I talk about, and nobody be getting them. That's why I be like, my people is lost due to a lack of knowledge, because I'm about to stop doing this in a minute. Why? Because a lot of my professors and people that want me to do things for their society and their Masonic houses, they're like, you got too much to offer. Build our library. A lot of stuff in their Masonic houses, they have scheduled classes. They have history class. They have adapt class. They have this, that, and the other. I've been doing this for years. Like I tell people, I say, man, I hope everybody take advantage and share it. I got clients, I got different nationality clients that give me $100 a month, and I just give them 10 ebooks each month. They was like, brother, can we just donate? Can you give us a tax exempt receipt at the end of the year? One brother already done donate for the whole year. I give him a tax exempt receipt each month. I give him 10 ebooks. I build this library like that. He like, man, this is the best thing ever. I know, fam, and gratitude. And so I just got another client because I'm back in my city of Flint, Michigan. I was at Barnes and Nobles and he heard me talking. He was like, man, all those books you got. And I'm showing him a little bit of my database. He was like, man, I do this. And he was like, can I donate? And I was showing him I have my own temple and school and blah, blah, blah. And so each month he donated $100 and I give him 10 books. And most of the books be ebooks, unless he say, I want the ebook, unless he say if I say I give him this book for $150 printed, he'll get this and the ebook, you know? So when he travel, he don't have to take his book. He have it on his tablet and he be everywhere reading and things, you know? Now watch this one. I showed you that one. And that's why I'm exhausted in what I'm doing when I say I'm tired, because I've been doing this for years. And I like, even with my lectures, and damn, now the book done went up. Now the book done went up. The book this one was $1,000, but let me finish what I'm saying. I done saw so many characters make money and scam people, talk about they can nationalize and they can file this. And I saw them get rich, go to prison, all this. My heart been pure forever. And then most of my business is with other people. What's my link? I don't know. No, I want you to do my link. My company, my book company is mypdfbooks.com. That's books with the Z. But when I'm here, when I be lecturing, and this is what I'm saying, when people catch me in ministry, all people have to be doing is emailing me and get stuff in real time when I'm in my ministry. You don't have to wait. And when I'm in my ministry, I ask for a suggested donation. And people still don't be catching what I be saying. On my company page, I have for-profit companies. But in my ministry, at my temples, I don't sell nothing. Listen to the linguistics. I ask for a suggested donation. All my literature, all that stuff, all our stuff, that's part of our regalia that can be done in a certain way. I ask for a suggested donation. Why? Because I want you to have it. That's why I say everything that I give is worth value. It's part of our culture. And so when I'm speaking in real time, a person can't hit me up the next day, tomorrow, and be like, man, remember yesterday you were saying this and all this? It can't work like that. Why? Because it wasn't the time. This is the time to do things. Why? In real time. That's when I do things. I do things in real time. All my handles is on my handle, how to donate and everything. And all the college students, they're like, Sheik, this too simple. I know. And when they say Sheik, it's no melanate. These are no mores. These are people that Jews, Christians, getting degrees, blah, 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 blah. And they just deal with me because of who I am, with all due respect. It ain't nobody that look like me in Arizona. Most of them that got their butts in trouble. I'm telling you. Now, it's another book called Melanin, The Chemical Key to Black Greatness. Now, the book used to be the same price as the one I just showed you. Now, look how much the book costs. What that say? What that say? How much that cost now? It was only $800 some. Now it's almost two bands. Who got 2 bands to buy this book? Who got 2 bands to buy the book? And then you want to support a brother and things. Why? Because that's how our money, circulate. That's how our money circulate. And I can give everybody a tax exempt receipt because I'm not selling nothing when I'm in ministry. I'm asking for a suggested donation. That's how I give everybody a tax exempt receipt to claim on their taxes and offset the church. That's how I deal with a lot of athletes and a lot of people that work. They understand when I say, ask your tax preparer, could you donate to me and I can give you a tax exempt receipt? They be like, man, yes, I apologize. And I give them a tax exempt receipt, you know? You just got to know the percentage that you have to give in your area to offset it, depending on how much you make. And so the other people, like a lot of these college students and other people I deal with, they say, man, I'd rather deal with you because I didn't even know about this if you wouldn't be talking about it. He said, I give you a tax as a receipt. And it's part of my profession. Yes, why not? It's only paper. Like I tell people, yes, you can cut your hair. Yes, you can do all that on your own. But I'm introducing you to something. Isn't it worth something? And that's why we don't make it. Because everybody try to get things and try to sell stuff, but they don't know how to teach it. They don't know how to use it for power. I'm a lecturer. I live this stuff. I breathe it. I'm like the walking book of Eli, with all due respect. This is what I tell people. We don't X our people out. We bring them up. That's why I said we don't flood the market. If our brother got a good thing, we want to see this brother make it and prosper. Why? For he can have a brick and mortar. For now he can have a temple and bring a community together. That's what this about. And then people can donate. He can give people a tax exempt receipt. This is what we should be dealing with. Why? Because every time we donate, he gonna give us something. Why? He don't have to, but that's what he do. Melanin, the chemical key to black greatness, that costs 17. So that price and the other price, add them two up together, because I ain't done. Add them two up together. Let me see. Let me see. Russian Icons by Vladimir Ivanov. You see that book costs $500. Now, the paperback, Empress, I was doing this live one day, and the Empress, because you know our people always be trying to be cheap, and she say, he trying to sell the book for more than the paperback, and everybody was like, well, go buy the paperback. I'm laughing. I said, y'all don't worry, because when she get the book, she gonna be crying. I know. They were like, what you mean, Sheik? Because you know, I know it. Well, I don't know everything. I research and investigate everything. The paperback ain't nothing but words. The paperback ain't nothing but words. It ain't no plates in it. What you say? So all you did was bought a whole bunch of some paper with some words written in black for $185. I got played. Hit me back. Sheik, yeah. Did you already know that paperback book was $185? Yep, I sure did. And everybody else did. Why? Because I already lectured about it. But you didn't want to support your brother. That's what you get. Go buy it. And nobody that she knew will let her get a copy of the book or print it for a while, because that's what happens. And I told you that's what happens. Just like I had another Empress, I got this Marcus Garvey letter on Amazon. The damn Marcus Garvey letter is $3,600. Only reason why it costs $3,600 because it's in a stupid frame. The paper is on, everything. The car stock is on. I got the exact paper because I got the damn letter from the same place Amazon got it from. You think Amazon gonna sell some original? It tell you it's a copy. It's just in a frame. I got mine from the same place they got it from. I'm telling you what I know. Why? Nobody, no entity is going to have nothing that I can't get as a scholar and an educator, because they get their stuff from the same place I do. It's just like with my fezzes and things. I get my fez is handmade with the proper perforations for symbology. I get them handmade. All my tunics, turbans, kuthras, I got boxes of them. So when you meet me in my ministry, when I'm on here, when I'm speaking, if people ask for things, you can deal with me personally, and I can ship things personally to you because it's part of my ministry when I'm in ministry. I'm gonna start doing raffles. Like for instance, say if I got a fez and I sell a fez for $200, I'll ask 10 people on here to donate $10 if they want a fez. I'll take those 10 people, shake them in the name, and I'll grab the person, boom, somebody won the fez. I don't want more than what the fez costs. I ain't gonna collect a whole bunch of money. I'm gonna tell, look, I only need 10 people because that's what I sell my fez for. So if 10 people give $10, that's I mean not 10 people, but if 20 people get $10, that's the 200. It's cut off. You know, it's cut off. I shake it up, somebody win every time. I can give away fairs and give away products all the time. I'll say this is what it costs, this how many raffles I'm gonna sell, that's to get the price. Everybody can get everything. So now you got to add that up, that $535. Add that $535. Add that to the total cost. And I'm gonna do this last one. This is the last one. This is what my Scottish Rite Masons have. They think it's real heavy, but it's only the Osiris mysteries. Oh, it went down. It went down to 131. It's gonna go right back. It's gonna shoot up to $500 some because this is just a copy. Just like I showed y'all the Melanin book, it was only $800 and went up. So a lot of the books probably went up. Every book that you can think of, I got total libraries. I got Bobby Hemmett whole library. I got Dr. Bean library. I got Ivan Van Sertima. I got everything that we need as ebooks. And the books that ain't expensive, you get it as an ebook. Expensive books, you can get it as an ebook, and I can print it and bind it. So if I print it and bind it, I'll sell it to you for a good price, but you're gonna get the ebook as well. And you can get a tax exempt receipt because it's part of our ministry. Now you add those prices up and you tell me what you get. Who getting ready to go buy those off Amazon? Who even know about these? Who even heard about these? No one. No one. And I have even more to illuminate because I ain't even touched the library. And I tell people I don't lecture this stuff at Masonic houses with my professors because this is what they into. I'm telling you, I have a full library of all type of Gnostic wisdom, history wisdom, Buddhism wisdom, anything that we need to clear up any history, and I lecture it. Anybody can have me on here and say, man, I want to lecture or have you as a guest lecturer to illuminate things. I'm gonna come with wisdom. I'm gonna come with understanding. I'm gonna give you everything that you can research. When everybody coming with this fake paper stuff, I'm gonna give you precedent law cases, doc number, Free Information Act, that if you have eyes to see, all you have to do is be like, man, this is what we need, a clean glass, because it's in your face on all levels. It should be prosperous. That's why I be saying, if we made all these charlatans prosperous, and I ain't selling nothing, I don't sell nothing. When I'm in ministry, I ask for donations. And when I say when people give donations, I'ma give. I have turbans. Man, to be honest, I sold more fezzes to a lot of my Masonic homeboys than I even do Moors. And all the Moors know that I produce fezzes with the proper perforations for symbology. All the Moors know I sell turbans, the long ones, all colors. I show you how to wrap your turban, and this is the she-mag. Everybody know I produce all that. Our tunics, cotton and silk, everybody know I produce all that. When you go on Moore'sHaberdashery.com, I have my boy Alonzo Wright Bay, all the dope Moorish attire that you see on there. We produce all that stuff in-house. Everybody know that. So all I'll be asking my brothers and sisters for support in my business, but when you catch me in my ministry and you research and you study, use me. You know what I mean? Use me. We ain't got to follow it up. Build it up. We can build our own platform up. When people say, oh, well, nobody's teaching this, I am. If you say nobody will teach this and it's gatekeepers, I'm not a gatekeeper. If you're saying that well, people educated and won't reach back, I'm educated, I'm reaching back. I'm right here. If everything I illuminate, I reveal to you. Anything that pro-black stuff is gonna say, I'm gonna give it to you from scholarship. Pro-black tell you some Willie Lynch. I tell you there ain't no such thing as no Willie Lynch letter. I told you that's Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda. I lecture that. No such thing as a Willie Lynch letter. So with all due respect, so when the brother, the Nation of Islam leader did that, I said, oh, that's propaganda. Because it ain't no such thing as that. And that's what most people heard that in 95. And you heard other rappers say it. I'm telling you from scholarship, it ain't one. It would be in the Library of Congress. And I'm telling you, it ain't no such thing as roots. And I'm telling you, Alex Haley plagiarized roots from a European, an Albion, a troglodyte named Harold Colander, his book called The African. And he got sued. And then our own people and professors be talking about, talk about Kunta Kinte is their ancestor, just lying. So once again, no other person lied to us. Once again, nobody answered my question. Who did Carter G. Woodson say the misnomer NEGRO, the miseducation of the Negro? Who fault did Carter G. Woodson say it was? Who fault did Carter G. Woodson say the miseducation of the NEGRO was? We smart, we know. I bet you everybody know. Who did Carter G. Woodson say the miseducation of the Negro? Whose fault is that? Whose fault? Watch this. Let's see. Because, yep, that's right. Our own people. We go to our own school. We go to our own churches. So if that's the fact, you can't talk about the other man this, the other man that. And if I'm right here for that, if you go to church and you go to these things and they're not giving you this, who the fool? Who's stupid? We using logic. Let's use logic. If we can profess this, and there's people on here that go to churches on my page that do these things and write about Christopher Columbus and black all this and listen to that outlandish stuff and talk about some Black Lives Matter and hear that from the pulpit, who the fool? Who the fool? I'll wait. And then tell me what you're going to these things for, giving your time and your money, because you can't get your time back. So if you say, oh, money ain't nothing, I'll get it again. If you just that care, why I don't get none? I'm just saying it. Not that nobody got to give me none. I'm just saying it. Because you can't get time back, which is valuable. And this is what I be saying. I'm like, come on, man. So it's our own people. It's these, with all respect, those ones that got those letters behind those names. When I say those things that you take an oath to, regardless if it's Masonic or fraternal, all that. All those things that have the subjugate the mental. I'm saying what Carter G. Woodson was talking about. Point blank. That's all I'm saying. And most of us go to these churches. And that's the thing. I keep saying, I said, man, please, I'm from the city of Flint, Michigan. Everything happened to me. My baby brother, Akil Jelani Goodman, was murdered in these streets by a we. My cousin, Miguel Swain, was murdered by a we. So nobody can't tell me this. We don't look in the mirror and see God. Brothers don't look in the mirror and see me. They be upset. Brothers be butthurt. And I said, how can you be butthurt or someone that's your brother that's giving the wisdom and the other man love him and celebrate him? How can that be? How can that be this man go educate himself and come back and bring something to the people? I can bring my own chair and my own table to any part of academia. I told y'all when you had those professors and those so-called intellectuals that was on that panel with T.I., you had Carnell West and Tyler Smiley and all them, and they act like they don't know, well, what should we call us? And this, that, and the other. And here it is, my professor, which is a Scottish Rite Mason, the other man, he was like, well, you already explained that in less than 10 minutes and you can rest your case. I said, these people playing semantics with the world. They ain't ever talk about, this is why I say, well, who we are. On paper, you can find that we more is on paper. In 1985, you can see what the mayor signed, and in 2012. Now, let's get before all that. Research a declaration, a proclamation. You know? Let's research the Human Rights, Article 15. Research the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. You have a right of a nationality. You have the right to change it. No one will be arbitrary, denied of a nationality. That means nobody can tell you this and that and the other. And the claim of child replaces the birth certificate. House Joint Resolution 75. You have the right to annex your L or your bay, etc. Now, when you talk about this, what should we call ourselves? They know. They know. We black, we this. No, we not. Black was never used to describe ethnicity in the first century. And so you got these scholars and these PhDs on here playing with people. Cause ain't nobody can't talk about the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. We talking about some $5 Indians, who the other man is. I said, dude, you don't know what the Constitution with the 20 sections. Are you missing something that I'm missing? Are you missing about self-identity? When you look at the SF 181 form and it says what? Fill all out pertaining to you. And the first thing that the NBC do, they pick black. And I say, you got to be crazy. Look what white say. You lost. I already broke it down in the biblical context of Laban. When that white context is describing his coldness or his goodness or his badness, not his hue per se. And people totally miss what I'm saying. I say, you off. You off. Black has no standing in law. So if we know law and we say only way our freedom can be solved is in the what? In the arena of law. Well, I just told you, black is silver mortis or civiliter mortis in the context of identity or ethnicity. Now, if you keep coming with that, you done. Like it ain't nothing else to explain. Black has no standing in law when it comes down to ethnicity and identity in this context. It's just like when a lawyer tell you about person and all that. No, they lying. It's just change of ownership. That has nothing to do with freedom. It's just a linguistic wordplay. Everybody know I'm telling the truth. I already lectured this and demonstrated. It's for us to know. So once again, if nobody can arbitrarily deny your nationality and your right to change it, if nobody can arbitrarily deny, who's stopping us from agreeing? We can't agree on nothing because here go the semantics. Oh, the Moors killed the Africans, the MUURs, the MOORs. And then when I show you Empress Gostel El Bay, she spelled more MUUR, MOOR. Hell, Shakespeare spelled more MOHR, interchange it with Negro. So what do these people be talking about? What I'm saying is we can't agree. We can't agree to who we are on paper to get to the next level. We can't do that. That's our fault. We talk about the world courts. What? Where people must agree who they are. If the so-called $5 Indian did these things, what? They agreed. We can't agree because you got people saying we not this. You got people saying we some autotoxic. You got people saying this and that and the other. But the only thing on paper that you can find historically in Atlanta and all these different jurisdictions, if on paper you can go to any courthouse and it'll show you that what we call before the Civil War, Moors. Any mayor's office, especially in the city of Flint, especially where any Moorish Science Temple of America at in their archives, they have it. We Moorish Americans on paper. You can go all the way back to 1985 in Atlanta and research what I'm saying. These is facts. You can research the House Joint Resolution 75. I keep telling people, like, why do we have a problem with this? Oh, well, more, black, all this, dude. Listen, we don't got time for semantics. What we got to do is as a people to what? Agree to something. If we're going to talk about reparations and forget reparations, we talk about restoration, being identified as not black because black have no standing in law. We giving them that black stuff back. We giving them the black stuff back. And when you sign correctly, I always ask people, what do you sign when you get a job? What do you sign when somebody puts something in your face when you get a job? You pick black. And if you sit up here and lie, I'll be like, see, that's what our people will do. We will lie in somebody's face and do the opposite, knowing every individual on here, if they don't understand and been taught the proper way or educated the right way, you know, when you get a job or anything, you fill out black. And you cannot, peace, Noble Brian, love you, brother. And most brothers don't understand. And you do that because a lack of knowledge. If I just said black has no standing in law, why would you fill that out? Or I'm gonna make a circle and pick other. Other what? Other what? And then you hear people that's not educated in civics, really, they play the game. When I said these people talk about they can't put a circle in a square because they don't know how to use they tools, they elementary tools. Because they don't understand the Masonic keys, but then try to say, well, what do the SF41 don't mean nothing to us? White by law, that ain't for us. They talk about we white. I said, dude, you totally lost because you don't understand origin and what words mean and bleach and white and it. You lost. You lost. And when you read white on the SF181 form, you read what white is, and then you come back to me and then you have a conversation with me. Because it said pick all that pertaining to you. So Vital Black out the door. Now, all the other ones, it could it be? If you know who you are, because that's the United of Asia. But look at white, pertaining to ethnicity. Look at white. What's my nationality? What's my nationality? Moorish American. What's my race? Asiatic. I choose it. What's my status? What's my status? I don't care what nobody say. Free white. I care how anybody else feel. And when I show you white by law, when I teach you that, white by law, you totally miss it. And I show people, I say, hey, I'm not arguing with no one. I don't have to argue. Waste of my time. But when you do all this fake sovereign citizen stuff, which is an oxymoron, talk about a status correction, and I say, well, what status are you correcting? Noble Drew Ali ain't changed nothing. Our prophet annexed his El and Bay. What did he change? Wait. Our prophet ain't never did no status correction. Our prophet ain't never nationalized nobody. These is facts. So all that stuff is fugazi. I keep telling people, but they don't want to listen. Why? Because a lot of people are rogues, and rogues listen to what they want. They don't want no guidance unless they get in trouble. And then you plead yourself to the court and get a court-appointed attorney and snitch not only on everybody else, but on yourself. See, this is what I know. And everybody on here like facts. You got to say facts because all that stuff is an oxymoron. You can't be no foreign national. How are you a foreign national? That's an oxymoron, the same way as a sovereign citizen. Why would you expatriate from the de facto government? And when you do that, you have no affiliate to no country, no state, and you will be a domestic terrorist, foreign and abroad. You should understand these things that is not lawfully to do. And people do this and tell you to do these things. And we don't want that to happen. We don't want that to happen to no one that have a pure heart, but be sincerely wrong. And you dealing with something fictitious. And I'm right here as a truth seeker, as an educator, telling you the right way to guidance because we need it. Why? If people say we don't know this, and I say, well, I know. And then you can research everything I'm saying. If this is your first time here, I got to spell this out. ROGERELVICK. And tell me what you get. When I say any language, it's the same. Research the Paradigm Group and what they did in Canada. So anybody doing these things, you be like, it's the same thing, Sheik. Duh. The reason why we don't know this because we let the wrong people stand for the majority. And we're not doing that. I'm right here. When you research that, I say all the language is the same of what these people are doing. Research it. You research the Paradigm Group, you research all that, all the language is the same. And I be telling people, I said, I told you, and only individuals do this is to their own family. So I'm out of here. I told, thank y'all. Anybody give donations, all you have to do is send me an email. My email is Goodman, GOODMANKHARY@gmail.com. You give a donation, man, and I'll send you one of those expensive books. I'll send you if somebody send a donation, I'll send you the book Forgotten Call of the Civil War by Tensler. I'll send that to you. Or Melanin, the Chemical Key to Black Greatness. You just have to tell me which one you want. You send a donation and don't, a person paying no pennies and say, oh, all I had was $5. Don't be cheap like that. You see the Melanin book is $1,700, right? The forgotten cause of the Civil War was about 800 something. So if you want both of them, you send a donation. My handle on there. It don't have to be nothing to put you in the bind, because I'll never do nothing to put nobody in the bind. But if people want things, then I'll have a database. Then I'll be getting your email. I don't even know how to do all that. I'm sorry. Like, I don't. Let me see. That's why I say, let me see. I don't know how to do that. Let me see. Let me see. Shoot, I don't know. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, let me see. Hold on. So what should I put in here? My email? Let me see. Wait. On my Gmail? Yeah. Wait, Brother Bay. Yeah, you do it, Brother Bay, because I don't. Hell. I'll be telling somebody, man, once somebody get with me, I'm gonna need me a moderator and all that. Yeah. Can you give him my Gmail, Brother Bay? Yeah, my Gmail is my last name, GOODMANKHARY @gmail.com. It's my last name, first name @gmail.com. Goodman Curry @gmail.com. Once again, it's my last name, my first name @gmail.com. Goodman Curry, GOODMANKHARY @gmail.com. Yep, that's my Gmail. Yep, that's my Gmail. And all the ways to donate is on my handle. If you use PayPal, if you use Venmo, and my phone number is on there, it's attached to my Zelle. I got my phone number. I told people I'm transparent. Just don't call me tonight because I'm busy, and you can leave a text. My office number is 602-473-8767. Once again, my office number, and it's this phone, right? No, it's that phone right there. 602-473-8767. So it's about 8 or 9 o'clock. I'm getting ready to lay down and study. So people, you can send me a text, send me an email. And if, like I said, if you want to send some donations for those 2 books or any books or anything you see me on social media posted on my Instagram page or on Facebook, I have a plethora of books. I'll build your library. I'll build your library with all the wisdom that you need, So once again, thank y'all. If y'all got that information, did everybody get it? Oh, thank you for the donation, brother. What'd he say? He just emailed. Somebody emailed me already. He said, man, I don't even want nothing. He said, you already sent me something, and I'm still tripping. He said, no, I'm sorry. He said, brother, I just sent you a $40 donation. He said, I don't want nothing because the last bundle you sent me, I can't send you enough to pay for. He said, the last bundle you sent me for that donation I gave, it totaled to $3,500 and change. And what'd he say? Gratitude. I'm just saying, I do this. I want people to have it, and I got a lot to share, and I don't want my flesh to be gone. People be like, man, I heard he had that. Can you get it? And nobody can get it. And only my close companions. I share this. And every time I lecture on here, I share it with people. I want people to have this. I want people to build their library so you won't be biased. I have documents. I have ancient things that people have been like, man, I needed that. I've been looking for that to help you. And I operate off strictly donations when I'm doing these things. I'm not selling you nothing, all donations, And so as I close, if people want me to start doing like raffles, I will, to make things fun. I got so much regalia, especially when I get back to Arizona. I got another database where I can ship things strictly to you from my website. I can get things off the website and show things like turbans, fezzes, a lot of the dope attire that we got, like shirts, jogging suits. I can say, okay, people, we doing a raffle of, like I said, if I sell something for $200, I say this item, all I want is $200. So I say I want 20 raffle tickets for $10. Once 20 people say I'm willing, I'll send a message out, say, okay, I got 20 participants, and all those 20 I'll get with them, and so boom, I say these are the 20 participants. Everybody will get a shout out. Say I pulled your name. At the 20 participants, this the cutoff. So the cutoff will be those 20. Boom. I write all 20 on the name, shake it all up in real time. Everybody on here live, pull a name out. say Michael such and such Bay or blah, 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 one of Feds. What's your address? Boom, boom, boom. I ship it to you because the Feds is paid for. We do a raffle. Everybody will donate $10, you know? That's how we can make things fun and people can get regalia. But all the books and things, I can put them in your hands for small donations. And the expensive and rare books, if you want those printed, we can print them and bind them for the same price Office Max and Staples do. And I can give it to you and I'll print it, bind it, get the money that it costs because they'll charge you. And I'll charge and I ask for a small donation and you'll get it. If not, a lot of local places like Office Max and Staple would do that for certain books. You know? So thank y'all, man, for y'all time. Thank y'all, everyone that took the opportunity to share this. And if that's all you can do, please share it. But once again, I don't care if you don't have nothing to donate. If your heart is pure and you like Sheik, I don't have nothing, but I do want a piece of wisdom. I would like a piece of wisdom from you because I gathered and compiled almost 20 books. I will give you a book just off the strength of something that you would like to research. I'll give it to you from the kindness of my heart because I give gifts. And once you deal with me and see that, you're going to be like, man, this man gives so many gifts. I promise you, especially if you into reading and studying. So once again, thank y'all for your time. Thank y'all listening to me. Please share this. If that's all you can do is share this. But y'all got my email. Y'all got my office number. But please email me and tell me hi. If I can respond back to you and tell you peace, we can build this community. And Empress, if this is your first time, peace and love. But I don't want this to be your last time. I want this to be your first time of many times. And I thank you for being here. And I thank you for your conversations. And I thank you for your light. And I thank everyone for taking time out their day for these 2 hours to listen to me. That's why I know it's something important. Because we all been on here for 2 hours. I got to have something. And then it's repeated people on here. The same people. And I'm not asking or I'm not begging nobody, but I know it got to be worth something. It has to be. If the same people come in here, it's not worth a small love token and I can give you more because I see everybody just posting stuff. I can give you things to slow your posting down and be like, man, I'm tripping. Yes. And I can give you things to illuminate your wisdom if you're willing to be guided. Once again, peace. Y'all got my info. I love y'all.